Chapter 203. Ha, the two of you came so quickly. I thought that you would have persisted for a while longer. A profound core 4th level cultivator immediately recognized Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sun Yan, as he spoke with a loud laugh. His current position was the first blue stone door in front of the canyon. Hearing these words, Jia Lingwei's heart completely sank. She finally understood why these people had initially taken away their cultivation resources, and then let them go. It turned out that they already knew that they would come back again. Ha, good, good. This profound core 4th level cultivator continued to laugh, and after saying a few words in succession, he once again spoke. You come to my side, I promise that I will let you pass, moreover I will not take your spirit stones. I guess that you do not have any spirit stones left. He Zhijiang, since you want the big one, then give the small one to us. Another person at the other blue stone door spoke up. Jia Lingwei's complexion changed. She knew the meaning behind these people's words. She did not speak up. In addition to the 10 of them, there were already 20 or 30 people gathered here. If it really could not be resolved in the end, then she would have to destroy her own meridians. Everyone, I am Wunyan Academy's Cheng Yixiao. Please look at the fact that we are all cultivators from the Yixing mainland, and allow us to pass through. This trivial gift is not enough to show our respect. The highest cultivator in the team, the profound core 5th level cultivator, took out a storage bag that he had already prepared beforehand and sent it up. Wunyan Academy. Is the Wunyan Academy really that great? This father was also from the Wunyan Academy hundreds of years ago. What use is it? That profound core 4th level cultivator called He Zhijiang spoke with disdain. He simply did not take Cheng Yixiao's storage bag, as his eyes were staring at Jia Lingwei. Is senior from the Wunyan Academy? Cheng Yixiao spoke in a pleasantly surprised voice. He Zhijiang spat out a mouthful of saliva and spoke. This father said that it was hundreds of years ago. Who is the current Wunyan Academy? What does it have to do with me? You are surnamed Cheng, presumably you have some relationship with that Cheng Yishui. Cheng Yixiao, on hearing these words, immediately felt his heart sink. He withdrew his respectful smile, and spoke in a tone that was neither overbearing nor humble. That is my father. After He Zhijiang heard these words, he spoke with even more disdain. That old lecher, even at such an old age, he is still able to bring out such a small thing like you. It can be seen that he has a lot of young women. Ah. You are courting death. How could Cheng Yixiao endure such words, while simultaneously bringing out his own magical weapon? However, after he brought out his magical weapon, he still managed to calm himself down. Even if he could beat this profound core 4th level cultivator, but how many people did he have on his side? There were 7 or 8 people with higher cultivation than him. As for the profound core cultivator on his side, he estimated that he was the only one who could make a move. Although there were a few profound core cultivators on the side, but they certainly would not start a fight. Why aren't you attacking? He Zhijiang once again ridiculed Cheng Yixiao. Before speaking in a cold voice, the 10 people who came over, all of you take out your storage rings, let us inspect them. Senior, didn't everyone pay 200,000 spirit stones before? This was Jia Lingwei's second time here, so she was more familiar with the rules here. For an ordinary profound congealing cultivator, 200,000 spirit stones was not a small number. That was a matter from a few months ago, but it has now changed. Moreover, this kid has angered me. He Zhijiang pointed at Cheng Yixiao's nose and spoke with a snort. After that snort, he once again pointed at Nalan Rushua and spoke. That woman over there, take off the rag on her face, and then come over. He Zhijiang, I want this woman. An unhurried voice said faintly. The one who spoke was a brown-robed cultivator standing at the entrance of the 8th blue stone door, and had the cultivation of profound core 8th level. When He Zhijiang heard this voice, he quickly bowed and spoke. Yes, since elder brother Rong wants this woman, then it is her fortune. Saying that, he once again glared at Nalan Rushua and spoke, still not rolling out of here, quickly go to elder brother Rong. Do you want this father to make a move? Nalan Rushua couldn't help but shudder. She finally understood that her previous thoughts were just too naive. At this moment, a profound core third-level cultivator at the fourth blue stone door pointed at a woman behind Nalan Rushue and spoke, "That woman over there, I want her." Standing behind Nalan Rushue was a female cultivator at profound congealing third level. When she heard those words she had not yet reacted. Jia Lingwei's complexion immediately changed, as she hurriedly spoke with a sound transmission, "Junior apprentice sister Shasha, you have to quickly escape." Although she spoke those words, but Jia Lingwei knew in her heart that even if junior apprentice sister Shasha immediately escaped, she would not be able to go far. The profound core cultivator who wanted Shasha suddenly looked at He Zhijiang and spoke, "Elder brother He, this woman does not know what is good for her, and even dared to send a sound transmission. After you finish enjoying her here, you can also let our senior apprentice brother and junior apprentice brother enjoy her." Jia Lingwei's complexion immediately turned incomparably pale. How could she not know the meaning behind those words? He Zhijiang just gave a smile, but did not speak. It was obvious that he did not want to give Jia Lingwei to this profound core third-level cultivator. This profound core third-level cultivator also did not care about it. As he finished speaking those words, he immediately rushed out, as he reached out to grab the female cultivator behind Nalan Rushue. Cheng Yixiao's temperament had always been very direct. He hated evil as if it was his personal enemy. Now that someone was trying to grab a female cultivator from his team in front of him, how could he bear it? He was already prepared to bring out the mythical light golden flame blade, but in just a twinkling of an eye it turned into a blade screen, blocking the path of this profound core third-level cultivator. This kid really dares to make a move. Ah. Lu Ming, you go ahead first, I'll help you block this Cheng Yixiao. He Zhijiang gave a sneer, while simultaneously bringing out his own magical weapon, as he also rushed forward. "Many thanks, elder brother He." This profound core third-level cultivator called Lu Ming, because of He Zhijiang's help, was able to easily bypass Cheng Yixiao. That female cultivator called Sha Sha hastily retreated, but even if her speed was fast, it was simply impossible for her to retreat in front of a profound core third-level cultivator inside the law's way. She was only able to retreat for less than 10 meters, when she ended up in Lu Ming's hands. "Still trying to hide from this uncle? Are you looking down on this Uncle Lu?" Lu Ming grabbed Sha Sha in his hands, as his eyes revealed a trace of hostility, as he raised his hands and completely tore apart the clothes of this female cultivator called Sha Sha. At this moment, almost all the cultivators present could see the naked Sha Sha. The female cultivator called Sha Sha gave out a pitiful cry. If she could have committed suicide, she would have already died a long time ago. "Beast!" Cheng Yixiao, on seeing Lu Ming tear apart Sha Sha's clothes on the spot, as he continued to rape her from the side, how could he still hold back the raging anger in his heart? The mythical light golden flame blade in his hands transformed into a dense rain of blades, as it completely wrapped around He Zhijiang. "Ah!" Another pitiful scream erupted, as He Zhijiang's arm was unexpectedly directly chopped off by Cheng Yixiao, as he was sent flying upside down. Cheng Yixiao sent He Zhijiang flying, as he directly pounced towards Lu Ming. However, he had not yet reached Lu Ming's side, when he was stopped by a horse-faced cultivator. "This kid has a few tricks. Ah, you have just entered the law's way for about a year, yet you can already defeat He Zhijiang. It looks like you are also a genius." Cheng Yixiao forced himself to calm down. Although He Zhijiang's cultivation was at profound core 4th level, but his attacks were incomparably powerful. This was him. If it was replaced by another profound core 5th level cultivator, then they would absolutely not be a match for He Zhijiang. But the person in front of him who was blocking him was elder brother Rong, who had the cultivation of profound core 8th level, which was a few small levels higher than him. "Let me see if you are really so amazing." As the profound core 8th level elder brother Rong finished speaking, a huge seal wrapped in a thick killing intent exploded towards Cheng Yixiao. Cheng Yixiao forcibly resisted his desire to save people, as the mythical light golden flame blade brought out a golden flame-like blade light that wrapped around the huge seal. For a time, the surrounding air was completely blown apart by the true essence, as the terrifying explosion sounds drowned out the two people who were still fighting. "You really are worthy to be the son of Cheng Yishui, a trivial profound core 5th level cultivator, yet you are unexpectedly able to block elder brother Rong. I also want to see if you are really powerful." While speaking, another Profound Core 7th level cultivator joined the fray. Cheng Yixiao was at Profound Core 5th level. Originally dealing with this horse-faced elder brother Rong was already difficult enough, but now that a Profound Core 7th level cultivator joined the fray, he immediately started to struggle. In just less than a dozen breaths, he along with his blade was sent flying by elder brother Rong's huge seal, directly crashing into a hill, completely smashing the hill into pieces. Even if that was the case, Cheng Yixiao was still struggling to sit up, but the injuries he suffered were simply too heavy. He was only able to sit up for a moment, before he once again fell down. The scene was completely silent. No one dared to save Cheng Yixiao, other than the sounds of Lu Ming torturing that female cultivator. This place was just like hell. The Profound Core 8th level elder brother Rong looked at the masked Nalan Rushue, and suddenly spoke with a smile, "You come here, I will not be as rude as Lu Ming." Nalan Rushue's complexion instantly turned incomparably pale. She finally understood the meaning of Zhang Sun Yan's words. At this time she was not even able to speak a single word, even her hands were trembling. Elder brother Rong, on seeing Nalan Rushue not moving, slightly frowned, was just about to speak, when suddenly a black light streaked past in front of his eyes. The next moment he heard a soft, puff sound. This speed, even he was not able to stop it. Lu Ming, who was lying on top of that female cultivator called Sha Sha, was suddenly carried up by a black long spear. This black long spear pierced through Lu Ming's waist, directly bringing Lu Ming up into the air. Bang! This black long spear nailed Lu Ming to a tall rock in the distance, causing the rocks to explode into rubble everywhere, while the end of the black long spear was still swaying. But at this time, the path that Lu Ming flew through in the air, blood started to fall. "Put on your own clothes first." As the voice fell, a gray robe fell over Sha Sha's body. When she was being humiliated by Lu Ming, this female cultivator called Sha Sha had already wanted to commit suicide, but at this time, when the restrictions on her body were removed by a robe, she suddenly lost the courage to commit suicide, as she quickly wrapped herself in the robe and rushed out from the side. No one tried to stop her, as all the people's gazes were focused on the person who had just fallen from the sky. This person was just a thin and ordinary-looking middle-aged man, and on this man's shoulder stood a puppy the size of 2 fists. None of the cultivators blocking the road at the Blue Stone Gate knew this person, but all the cultivators who had to pass through this canyon knew this person. This was the same essence-building cultivator who had told Heng Jiaojiao to get lost on the airship, but at this time his cultivation did not seem to be at the essence-building realm. Regardless of whether he was in the essence-building realm or not, a person who was able to kill a Profound Core 3rd level cultivator with a single spear strike was definitely not a simple person. Pata, pata. Lu Ming's body was nailed to the rock, while blood was still dripping down. Other than that, there was no other sound, but the sound of blood dripping down was even more contrasting to the silence of this place. Chapter 204. The one who came was Ning Cheng. He did not know what was going on, but he knew the woman who was being humiliated. That woman should have been in the same team as the purple-robed woman. Moreover, she rarely spoke. Moreover, in the cabin, it seemed very quiet. But as for Lu Ming, Ning Cheng had never seen him before. For Ning Cheng, this person was definitely a cultivator from inside the law's way. This cultivator, in front of so many people, in broad daylight, tore off the clothes of a female cultivator. It was obvious that he was not a good person. Even if he was a good person, Ning Cheng would not hesitate to kill such a person. So when he came here, he was too lazy to ask for the reason, and directly nailed Lu Ming to death. Nalan Rushua quietly put down the escape talisman in her hands, and felt relieved in her heart. If it was not a last resort, she really did not want to use the escape talisman to escape. She could leave, but what about the others? Once she left, it would be a mountain that she would never be able to cross again in her life. Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sun Yan had come here because of her. She could even imagine the fate of the two of them. Perhaps her cultivation in this life would end here. Moreover, even if she left, where could she go? She had to enter the second segment of the law's way. Once she left, she could only find a remote place to hide for the rest of her life. Ha ha. Cough cough. Cheng Yixiao laughed, and then coughed a few times before standing up again. He swallowed a few pills and slowly walked over. Good kill, good kill, good kill. Cheng Yixiao said a few words in succession. As he slowly recovered his qi, it could be seen that the pills he took were not trivial. Elder brother Rong did not speak, but his face had already turned dignified. He waved his hand behind him, and 20 profound core cultivators quickly surrounded them. Even so, there were still 8 cultivators blocking the intersection. Cheng Yixiao, on seeing this, once again grabbed his mythical light golden flame blade and spoke. Elder brother Cheng, when we were on the airship I thought that you were just an essence-building cultivator. I did not expect that I would have actually misjudged you. These beasts are not good, let me help you. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness had already perceived that Cheng Yixiao's injuries were very serious, although he was rapidly recovering, but he still waved his hand and spoke. You should not start now, first tell me what is going on here. Why are these cultivators blocking our way? Cheng Yixiao was just about to speak, when Jia Lingwei quickly came up and took the initiative to speak. Senior apprentice brother Cheng, let me speak. She did not have an escape talisman like Nalan Rushua, and only had an attack-type talisman. Even if her attack-type talisman could kill a profound core 8th level cultivator, her final fate would be the same. Not to mention that his attack talisman could at most severely injure a late-stage profound core cultivator. Don't talk nonsense with him, let's go together. That elder brother Rong, on seeing the 20 profound core cultivators had already surrounded Ning Cheng, immediately waved his hand and spoke. He attached great importance to Ning Cheng. Moreover, Ning Cheng was able to nail Lu Ming to death with just a single spear strike. Even if it was him, he would not be able to do such a thing. Jia Lingwei hurriedly retreated. At the same time, she quickly described the reason why these people blocked the road and their evil deeds. Hearing Jia Lingwei say that it was not the first time that these people had done the things that he had seen before, Ning Cheng's heart was immediately filled with killing intent. These cultivators were trapped in the law's way, unable to advance or retreat, without any moral and human restraint. The ugliness at the root of human nature was exposed. This was the madness before death. But he also had the bottom line of human morality. If he did not have the ability, then he would have endured it. But now that his cultivation had reached the large accomplishment realm, and he also had the true devil axe, why would he be afraid of this group of cultivators? Ning Cheng motioned Jia Lingwei and Cheng Yixiao to retreat. When he started, he absolutely would not care about the other people around him. Facing so many crazy cultivators, he simply did not intend to use his profound break spear. After the 20 profound core cultivators completely surrounded him, he immediately brought out his true cosmic devil axe. As soon as he brought out his true cosmic devil axe, a powerful bloodthirsty aura immediately filled the surroundings of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng had not yet stimulated the true cosmic devil axe, but that kind of evil qi was already dispersing from the tip of his axe. You are a devil cultivator, a devil cultivator. Shocked voices resounded almost at the same time. The cultivators on elder brother Rong's side were shocked that Ning Cheng unexpectedly turned out to be a devil cultivator. Some of the profound core cultivators even subconsciously took half a step back. Devil cultivators were a taboo existence in the Yixing mainland. Moreover, devil cultivators did not possess any rationality, and would kill people indiscriminately. They did not expect that there would be a devil cultivator who entered the law's way. Those who entered the law's way together with Ning Cheng, and were now stopped by the cultivators, were equally shocked. Even Jia Lingwei, who had come forward to explain to Ning Cheng, subconsciously pulled Zhang Sun Yan back. The rest of the people also retreated even more. Cheng Yixiao looked at Ning Cheng in disbelief, as he muttered to himself, how could this be? How could it be a devil cultivator? Ning Cheng slightly frowned. He did not think that the power of the two words devil cultivator would be so astonishing. Regardless of which side it was, it seemed that they did not want to come into contact with him. Initially, although Nongzhen and elder sister Shu were also worried about this matter, but it was not this terrible, right? I did not think that you would turn out to be a devil cultivator. Looking at the fact that you are a devil cultivator, we have nothing to do with you. We will also let you pass, as long as you do not interfere in our affairs. Elder Brother Rong's tone finally showed a bit of loosening. Lu Ming was killed, it was not a big deal. But angering a crazy devil cultivator was not a good thing. Devil cultivators were all crazy murderers. They had all kinds of forbidden magic techniques, all of which were harmful to others without benefiting themselves. Moreover, the scale of their slaughter was also very large, as such he had no choice but to be wary of them. A bunch of beasts, you think you are qualified to discuss with me? Ning Cheng immediately brought out the true cosmic devil axe in his hands, as a tearing killing intent instantly turned berserk. Elder Brother Rong scolded in a hoarse voice, "Idiot, do you think that by helping these people, they would be grateful to you? You are a devil cultivator. If you were seriously injured, then someone would immediately come and eradicate you." Regardless of how this Elder Brother Rong called out, Ning Cheng's true cosmic devil axe was completely stimulated, as a pale golden axe trace filled with killing intent shot out from the gray-colored true devil axe. These axe traces were filled with a violent and uncontrollable ruthlessness, as they formed a fine axe line in the air. This was the third form of Ning Cheng's angry axe line. Ning Cheng originally intended to use this axe line to kill Elder Brother Rong and the other profound core 5th level cultivator. But after his true devil axe was stimulated, a fanatical and bloodthirsty aura completely filled his consciousness. At this moment, he just wanted to kill all the people surrounding him, without leaving even a single one alive. His devilish nature has erupted. Bring out your magical weapons together to kill him. A profound core 5th level cultivator called out, as he brought out the drum-shaped magical weapon in his hands. At this moment, 20 magical weapons brought out countless true essence surging out, as they all exploded towards Ning Cheng. At this moment, Ning Cheng's true cosmic devil axe was completely out of control. Even Ning Cheng himself was completely out of control. The inexhaustible true essence in his core lake was unreservedly stimulating the true devil axe, causing the axe line killing intent to burst out, as it brought out one after another axe line whirlpools. The axe line whirlpools brought out by the true devil axe, as well as the axe line killing light, collided with the 20 magical weapons, causing the true essence to explode out. The magical weapons were constantly being blown away, while blood was constantly splashing out, but the true cosmic devil axe that saw the blood turned even more berserk, causing Ning Cheng to completely lose his calm. Crazily stimulating his true essence, he brought out the true cosmic devil axe and continuously displayed the angry axe's third form. Boom 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 boom, the raging explosion of true essence was crazily surging out in this place. Ning Cheng's true cosmic devil axe brought out an axe light filled with killing intent that had already transformed into a substantial killing line, as more and more cultivators were cut in half by these killing lines. This place where the battle was taking place, in just a twinkling of an eye, had turned into a living hell. But there were simply too many profound core cultivators here. Although Ning Cheng was powerful, but he was only a single person. Moreover, he only had the cultivation of profound congealing 4th level. Blood splashed out from Ning Cheng's body. There was even a sword that directly pierced through Ning Cheng's chest. Ning Cheng's mind was immediately cleared up by this kind of pain, as he suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. He had almost turned into a devil a moment ago. This true cosmic devil axe really was strange, but his cultivation was simply too low. He was only at profound congealing 4th level, yet he was able to display the true cosmic devil axe in such a crazy manner. Seeing his body riddled with scars, if not for the mysterious yellow origin, then perhaps he would have already died. Ning Cheng was furious in his heart, as he once again crazily swept out with his true cosmic devil axe. This time, his mind was even more clear. At least it was not that crazy killing intent that he had a moment ago. Countless golden axe line vortexes blasted out, blocking one magical weapon attack after another. But the largest golden axe line vortex was controlled by Ning Cheng, as it rumbled towards Elder Brother Rong. He could not just randomly attack like this, he had to break them one by one. Just a moment ago, when he had almost turned into a devil, he had only managed to kill a few profound core cultivators, while he himself was about to be killed. Feeling a clear axe line vortex, as it rolled up the surrounding killing intent and directly rumbled towards him, Elder Brother Rong was startled in his heart. He immediately knew that Ning Cheng wanted to kill them one by one. He quickly shouted out, all the people guarding the door come together, this person will not be able to hold on for long. Hearing elder brother Rong's shout, all the cultivators guarding the blue stone door immediately surrounded him, even some of the profound congealing cultivators also rushed up. All the people immediately brought out their magical weapons and rushed towards Ning Cheng. Bang! At the same time, the true cosmic devil axe brought out a whirlwind that exploded on top of elder brother Rong's Scorpion King scissors. The Scorpion King scissors was completely deflected by the formidable axe intent of the true devil axe, while the killing force that had gathered together did not even take half a moment to explode on elder brother Rong's chest. Bang! Elder brother Rong's body split apart, as he was directly killed by Ning Cheng's whirlwind. Ka 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 ka. It was followed by countless ka ka sounds of explosions, as dozens of magical weapons smashed on top of the dense axe line vortex that Ning Cheng had brought out, causing the axe line vortex to collapse. Ning Cheng was also sent flying upside down by such a powerful attack, as he smashed into a huge stone behind him. But the axe line vortex brought out by his true devil axe was able to save his small life. You guys hurry up and help, why is he the only one fighting? Sha Sha, who had already changed her clothes, at this time completely forgot about the previous insults from Lu Ming, as she cried out to the people watching the fight to help. These cultivators were originally shocked by the bloody scene of Ning Cheng fighting with so many profound core cultivators, but now that they were reminded by Sha Sha, they immediately sobered up. Now that there was no one guarding the mouth of the canyon, almost all the people were rushing towards the mouth of the canyon, but none of them rushed up to help Ning Cheng. Chapter 205. Cheng Yixiao did not seem to have sobered up from the shock that Ning Cheng was a devil cultivator, but now that he heard Sha Sha's tearing screams, it made him understand that these were all facts. Looking at these cultivators scrambling to rush to the second segment of the Law's Way, Cheng Yixiao frowned. He understood the thoughts of these people. It was obvious that Qing Xiaoning would not be able to hold on for much longer. Once these people killed Qing Xiaoning, then wanting to get past them would simply be a dream. Cheng Yixiao did not follow the crowd to rush towards the mouth of the canyon. Even if his injuries were not fully healed, he still wanted to help Ning Cheng. Nailan Rushue, on seeing Cheng Yixiao's actions, immediately knew what Cheng Yixiao wanted to do. She gave out a sigh and spoke with a sound transmission. Senior apprentice brother Cheng, that person is a devil cultivator. The matter of you helping the devil cultivators in this place, once it was spread out, my Wu Yan Academy's reputation would be completely ruined, and even the academy head would not be able to take care of himself. No one can say for sure whether or not something that happened hundreds of years ago will happen again. Hearing Nailan Rushue's words, Cheng Yixiao's footsteps came to a halt, as he subconsciously stopped. It didn't matter if he went to help, it didn't matter even if he was killed by these cultivators. But the matter of him helping a devil cultivator, once it was spread out, then the Wu Yan Academy would be thoroughly tarnished. Unless he killed all the cultivators here, this matter would definitely spread out. A few hundred years ago, the Lu continent had an academy that stood above the three major academies, the Kuan-Yun Academy. It was because the sect's number one genius disciple, Jing Hao, wanted to protect a female devil cultivator and killed a few sect disciples who were chasing after her. As a result, because of this matter, the Kuan-Yun sect was besieged by dozens of sects with excuses, and in the end, it vanished into thin air. And among those big academies that were besieging them, the Wu Yan Academy was impressively among them. The Wu Yan Academy was one of the three major academies of the Lu continent. Once the news spread out that he had helped the devil cultivators, and even if some people with ulterior motives said that he had helped the devil cultivators to kill the rest of the cultivators, then even if he had 10,000 mouths, he would not be able to explain himself. Cheng Yixiao looked at the disciples of the academies who were fleeing in a hurry and gave out a sigh. He could not blame these people for running away. That was what he thought, and it was obvious that others thought the same. The several profound congealing cultivators of the Wu Yan Academy's team were well aware of Cheng Yixiao's temperament. Not only did he abhor evil, but he also liked to fight against injustice. Now that Cheng Yixiao was hesitating, they did not dare to let Cheng Yixiao go forward. The few of them hurriedly supported Cheng Yixiao, as they pulled and dragged him into the blue stone door, and soon disappeared from sight. Elder sister Lingwei, I feel very unhappy in my heart. Zhang Sun Yan, who had already walked far away, suddenly spoke out a sentence without any head or tail. Jia Lingwei sighed and said, I know, Yan Yan, we won't be of any help if we go up there. If we stay there, we'll just be holding them back. We are not the only ones who are unhappy. There are others who are unhappy, and they have no choice but to go. Zhang Sun Yan did not answer Jia Lingwei's words, as she understood the meaning behind elder sister Lingwei's words. It was true that they wouldn't be of much help if they stayed there. Moreover, once everyone else left and they were the only ones left, they would definitely be told that they were helping the demonic cultivators. It wasn't just the two of them who were implicated, but the sects behind them as well. They could not bear the responsibility. Sha saw that after she screamed, everyone left. She was stunned for a while and suddenly understood. When she was humiliated in such a way, why didn't anyone come out to help her? Not to mention that the entrance to the canyon was now open, allowing everyone to leave from here. I'm going to kill you beasts. After Sha sobered up, she immediately brought out her long sword and rushed out. But at the same time as she rushed out, she saw a black light shooting towards Ning Cheng. She did not even think about it and rushed towards that black light. Bang! With her cultivation at profound congealing 4th level, even if it was just a black light, she would not be able to block it. She was directly hit in the chest by that black light, and was immediately sent flying upside down. This was just a gap in time. Ning Cheng had already recovered, but he did not have the time to check on Sha. The true cosmic devil axe had already brought out an inexhaustible twisting axe line, moreover these twisting axe lines were also surrounded by a whirlpool of killing intent. The extremely berserk killing intent burst out, forming wave after wave of killing force, which directly shrouded the entire area in the vicinity. Boom 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 boom. The true essence driven by the magical weapon and the killing intent once again exploded, once again causing a sky full of true essence to explode. Some of the weaker profound core cultivators were directly killed by this axe intent whirlpool. As for those profound congealing cultivators, not a single one of them survived, as they were directly split apart in front of this twisting axe line. Continuously stimulating the true essence in his core lake, Ning Cheng finally felt a burst of weakness. After this wave of attacks, his waist was once again swept by 2 blade lights, causing blood to flow out. There were about 100 profound core cultivators here in addition to the profound congealing cultivators, but because of Ning Cheng's 2 violent attacks, they were directly reduced to 9 people. All of these 9 people were profound core cultivators, none of them were at the early stages of profound core. He can't hold on any longer, let's get rid of this devil together. A profound core cultivator spoke, as he took the initiative to attack first. The rest of the people also had the same thoughts, as they all rushed towards Ning Cheng. It was obvious that they could see that Ning Cheng was already an arrow at the end of its flight. Although Ning Cheng was seriously injured, but his mind was becoming more and more clear. He did not retreat, but instead once again brought out the true cosmic devil axe. This time was different from before. The true cosmic devil axe only brought out an axe trace. An axe trace that could cut through everything around it, the angry axe's first trace. This axe trace brought out a strong gust of wind and the killing intent of the angry axe into a thin line, which at the same time locked down the surroundings, but at the same time also brought out a whooshing sound as it cut through the air. The berserk killing intent was completely condensed in that axe trace, and no longer had the tendency to spread out like before. The 9 profound core cultivators besieging Ning Cheng soon discovered that this axe trace was extremely powerful, and was filled with a thick killing intent. As long as they tried to resist it head-on, then they would definitely be seriously injured. But this axe trace had a flaw, because it left an opening and was not bound. He is exhausted, this is his last strike. Everyone can dodge this axe trace, then he will be at our mercy. Not needing this profound core cultivator to speak, the rest of the people were already clear as to what was going on. Ning Cheng was completely exhausted, although this axe trace was terrifying, but the killing intent had not converged, as such he could completely dodge it. Once this axe trace was dodged, then it would be equivalent to Ning Qing stimulating his true essence in vain to unleash this axe trace. Once he ran out of strength, then it was inevitable that he would be at the mercy of the others. Although it took a long time to describe, but in fact it only took a few moments for the 9 profound core cultivators to retreat from the same place. Ning Qing heaved a sigh. He had been through many killing arrays for a long time, so how could he not understand this truth? If these 9 people had not retreated, and all of them had met the angry axe, first trace, head-on, then with his current state, he would at most be able to kill 3 of them. As for the rest of them, even if they were seriously injured, it would be very difficult. Fortunately, these 9 people retreated at the same time. Because his opponents did not know that he had the broken core bead, but this was his trump card. When these 9 people retreated to the same place, Ning Qing immediately activated the broken core bead that he had already prepared and threw it out. At the same time, he immediately brought out his twin heavenly cloud wings. Not good. A late-stage profound core cultivator immediately felt the tyrannical aura coming from the broken core bead, and immediately called out, as he hurriedly rushed forward. But the killing intent that had already gathered in the first trace was just like cutting tofu, as it cut through his waist. Boom boom boom. A violent explosion sounded out. This kind of violent essence chi fluctuations, compared to the previous battles between Ning Qing and the other profound core cultivators, it was even more terrifying. The explosion set off a burst of gravel and dirt, which completely turned the entire place into a cloud of dust. After a few breaths, the explosion disappeared. As the cloud of dust dissipated, a profound core 7th level cultivator staggered to his feet, while holding a grey shield in his hands. Although the shield was somewhat damaged, but it was not very big, it could be seen that he had relied on this shield to escape with his life. He sluggishly looked around, as he muttered, "I'm the only one left. You are wrong, you will not be able to survive." Ning Cheng's slightly weak voice arrived, while at the same time an ugly grey axe appeared in front of his eyes, as it cut off his huge head, causing it to roll to one side. Ning Cheng swallowed a few pills, as he looked around. Just a moment ago there were more than 100 people here, but in the blink of an eye, he was the only one left. The broken core bead was simply too terrifying. Moreover, it was only equivalent to a strike from an early-stage soul essence cultivator. From this it could be seen how powerful a soul essence cultivator was. Ning Cheng looked at the female cultivator lying on the ground in the distance, as he felt some sadness in his heart. Even if a devil cultivator was terrifying, he was still helping others. But the fact was, other than the female cultivator that he had saved, no one else came forward to help him. The world was cold, and was unexpectedly harsh to this point. Ning Cheng staggered to the front of the female cultivator, before he knelt down on one knee, and helped this female cultivator up. He could feel that his injuries were somewhat serious. But when Ning Cheng helped this female cultivator up, his heart instantly sank. This female cultivator's dantian and internal organs were completely shattered, even her meridians were completely destroyed, even her life force was on the verge of dying. Ning Cheng quickly took out a healing pill and put it into the mouth of this female cultivator. He knew that even he would not be able to save this female cultivator. Because of Ning Cheng's pill, this female cultivator opened her eyes, and when she saw Ning Cheng covered in blood, the corners of her mouth twitched a few times, as more blood flowed out. "Thank you." This female cultivator spoke those 2 words with difficulty. Ning Cheng knew what she meant. This female cultivator was thanking him for not letting her continue to be humiliated in front of everyone. "I'm sorry, I did not help you much. If not for you helping me block that black light, I would not have been able to kill those beasts. Moreover, I do not have any way to help you now." Ning Cheng spoke with shame. He felt that he really could not help this female cultivator in any way. This female cultivator shook her head slightly. "My name is Zhuang Xiangsha, a person from the Lu Continent's Zhuang clan. If you can get out of this place in the future, I would like to ask you to bring me back to the Lu Continent's Zhuang clan to Zhuang Wenhan. You can rest assured, I will definitely help you with this matter." Ning Cheng spoke with certainty. Hearing Ning Cheng's affirmative reply, Zhuang Xiangsha's mouth showed a trace of comfort, and once again spoke, "You are a devil cultivator, do not stand out. Ning Qing nodded. He also understood the meaning of Zhuang Xiangsha's words. Once others thought that he was a devil cultivator, then he would not be able to explain himself. Once he got out of this place, he would become an existence that everyone would want to kill. Zhuang Xiangsha wanted him to change his appearance. Even if he had to send Zhuang Xiangsha's body to the Zhuang clan, he would still have to change his appearance. Tell Tai Chi, I am sorry for him. After Zhuang Xiangsha finished this sentence, she could no longer persist, and died. Chapter 206. Ning Qing gave out a sigh. He intended to help Zhuang Xiangsha craft a magical artifact coffin. In the end, Zhuang Xiangsha fell. She probably already had the will to die. Releasing Grey Toot Toot from the spiritual beast bag, he spoke, "Hurry up and collect all the storage bags and rings, I have something to do right now." When Grey Toot Toot heard that he was going to collect the storage bags and the storage rings, he simply did not need Ning Qing to repeat it a second time, as he immediately rushed out like a wisp of smoke. After Ning Qing swallowed a few more pills, he used some of the materials to refine a simple coffin. He then engraved some preservation arrays on the coffin before placing Zhuang Xiangsha into the coffin and storing the coffin in his ring. At this time, Grey Toot Toot had already collected a pile of storage rings and storage bags. Ning Qing put away all the storage rings, and also went over to pick up some of the scattered magical weapons. Only then did he pull out his profound break spear, and with a single spear, completely turned the 8 bluestone doors at the mouth of the canyon into ruins. Let's go. Taking Grey Toot Toot with him, Ning Qing brought out the twin heavenly cloud wings, and soon disappeared from the entrance of the canyon. His injuries were not light, and he needed to find a place to heal. As for the corpses that he had killed, Ning Qing did not intend to bury any of them. It wasn't until a day later that people arrived. When the cultivators arrived and saw the corpses on the ground, they panicked and sped up through the canyon. In a temporarily dug immortal cave, Ning Qing was extremely grateful towards Kong Pengpeng. Without Kong Pengpeng's fragmented Dan Pearl, it would have been impossible for him to leave so easily. Even if he could escape, he would not be able to kill all the profound core cultivators blocking his way. As for the purpose of elder sister Shu making him change his appearance, Ning Qing finally had a deep understanding of it at this time. At least until now, no one knew that he was Ning Qing. If people thought that he was a devil cultivator, then once he came out, it would truly be disadvantageous for him. Although he was seriously injured, but Ning Qing was not depressed, at least this time he had gained a lot. With nearly 30 storage rings of profound core cultivators, there were also dozens of storage rings and storage bags of profound congealing cultivators. Presumably he would be able to cultivate for a period of time. Ning Qing did not check out the things that he had obtained, he wanted to quickly heal his injuries. Although the angry axe killing style that was stimulated out by the cosmic true devil axe contained a terrifying might, but the after effects were also very big. If not for the mysterious yellow origin, Ning Qing really would not dare to continue using it. The true cosmic devil axe's bloodthirsty devilish nature was simply too heavy. If an ordinary person used it for a long time, then it would really be possible for their mind to be corroded, turning them into a real devil. It was not without reason that demonic cultivators had a bad reputation. Ning Qing was very confident in his mysterious yellow origin. He believed that his mysterious yellow origin would be able to suppress the devilish nature of the cosmic true devil axe, and even completely refine the devilish nature of the axe into killing intent. Elder sister Shu had already said that the true cosmic devil metal not only contained devil metal, but also true cosmic gold. Great Void True Gold was a material that contained true righteousness, and the treasures refined from it were also upright. This time, although Ning Qing's injuries were not light, but they did not hurt his foundation, and with the help of his pills, he was able to quickly recover. In just half a month's time, Ning Qing felt that his injuries had almost completely healed. At this time, Ning Qing finally calmed down and began to sort out his gains. Nearly 100 storage rings gave him a total of 5 to 6 million high-grade spirit stones. Although there were only a few spiritual grasses, but there were a lot of raw materials for crafting artifacts. Moreover, Ning Cheng also discovered that most of these spirit stones were from the rings of the profound core cultivators. As for the rings of the profound congealing cultivators, there were very few things. Ning Cheng guessed that those cultivators who blocked the way should have entered the law's way a long time ago. As such, he feared that their original spirit stones had already been used up. The spirit stones in the storage rings were definitely looted from the hands of the cultivators who had just entered the law's way. As for the cultivators who had just entered, they certainly would not bring too many spiritual grasses with them. But it was also good, he had helped everyone to destroy this gang. As such, these spirit stones being taken away by him was also a matter of course. After sorting out all the spirit stones and raw materials, Ning Cheng helped Zhuang Xiangsha to refine a new jade coffin. The previous coffin was something that he had hastily refined due to his severe injuries. As such, the array formation was not only simple and crude, but even the shape was also simple and crude. Zhuang Xiangsha was the only person who stayed behind to help him, and also helped him block the black light. As such, Ning Cheng felt that helping her to refine a better jade coffin was something that he should do. If Zhuang Xiangsha was not the victim, then perhaps she would have already left like the rest of the cultivators, but Ning Cheng did not care about it. Human nature was just like this. He had often seen such reports before. When they encountered thieves, many people would choose to stand around and watch, or even avoid them. But there would always be brave people who would stand up and stop the thieves. They would let people feel that there was still warmth in this world, and that there was still a sense of justice. For Zhuang Xiangsha to stay behind, it was not only because he had saved her, but because she wanted to help her benefactor from the bottom of her heart. Towards people who knew how to repay kindness, Ning Cheng had always respected them. After entering the second segment of the law's way, all the cultivators came to understand the difficulty of it. In this segment of the law's way, there were all kinds of monstrous beasts everywhere. Similarly, because this segment of the law's way had more complete laws of the heaven and earth, as such the monstrous beasts here were extremely powerful. A profound congealing fourth-level cultivator would not necessarily be able to beat a middle-stage Class 4 monstrous beast, or even an early-stage Class 4 monstrous beast. Moreover, these were the monstrous beasts that walked on the ground. Once they met a monstrous beast that flew in the air, even if it was a late-stage Class 3 monstrous beast, an early-stage profound congealing cultivator would not necessarily be able to deal with it. In addition to these monstrous beasts, this segment of the law's way also had a variety of swamps and death traps. There were even spatial wind edge belts. Once one fell into it, they would directly turn into dust. If it was only these, then they would have to be careful, and spend a little more time, but the most important thing was that the distribution of spiritual qi here was extremely uneven. Most of the safe places had thin spiritual qi, or even no spiritual qi at all. The places with rich spiritual qi were all occupied by monstrous beasts, or were scattered all over the dangerous places. If one did not have spirit stones, then wanting to cultivate in this place, it would be extremely difficult. No wonder those people wanted to rob us, it should be because they did not have any spirit stones to cultivate with. Moreover, they did not dare to enter the territory of the monstrous beasts here, so they could only hide at the mouth of the canyon to intercept the cultivators who had just entered the valley. After Zhang Sun Yan had experienced several dangers, she suddenly spoke up. No one answered, as everyone understood this truth. From this place, they simply could not sense where the third segment of the road was, and also could not understand how big this place was. Perhaps after countless years, they could only retreat from this place, and just like those cultivators who had blocked the road, they had to intercept the new batch of cultivators. In order to find some spirit stones, they could then enhance their own cultivation. Junior apprentice sister Yan Ji has arrived. Cheng Yixiao suddenly spoke. Sure enough, after a moment, 6 or 7 people quickly arrived from a distant place. They also saw Cheng Yixiao's team, and immediately stopped. Everyone knew each other, so when they saw each other they immediately greeted each other. Greetings senior apprentice brother Cheng. Yan Ji and the others greeted Cheng Yixiao. In this place only Cheng Yixiao's cultivation was the highest, moreover his status was also the highest. Yen Ji and Nalan Rushua had a bit of a gap between them, although Nalan Rushua had taken the initiative to call out to her, but she only gave a simple reply. On the contrary, she was even more enthusiastic towards Jia Lingwei. In the second segment of the Law's Way, the chances of dying are very high. If we were to accidentally break into the territory of a high-leveled monstrous beast, then we would simply not be able to survive. After everyone finished greeting each other, Cheng Yixiao spoke in a dignified manner. Yen Ji and the others had already entered the second segment of the Law's Way for some time, as such she understood Cheng Yixiao's words, but she actually asked a different question. Senior apprentice Brother Cheng, when we entered the second segment of the Law's Way, we saw hundreds of corpses at the entrance of the canyon. Moreover, the scene was extremely messy. Senior apprentice Brother Cheng, you came here before us. Do you know what is going on? Nalan Rushua, who did not have a very good relationship with Yen Ji, suddenly spoke up. Is Senior Apprentice Sister Ji familiar with that Qing Xiaoning? I am not familiar with him, so why would you suddenly ask about him? Yen Ji's complexion was a bit ugly. She had refuted Nalan Rushua's words in the cabin hall, and had even helped Qing Xiaoning, but she did not expect that Nalan Rushua would still ask about this matter. Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, please do not misunderstand. Junior Apprentice Sister Rushua said that because the people who were killed were related to Qing Xiaoning. Jia Lingwei saw that the two people had misunderstood, and quickly explained from the side. Ah. Yen Ji almost thought that she had misheard, although Qing Xiaoning had an ice-type magical technique, but his cultivation was only at the essence-building realm. How could he possibly be related to those hundreds of corpses? She looked around, and found that there were also many profound core cultivators who had died. If I have not guessed wrong, then those people were killed by Qing Xiaoning. Since Senior Apprentice Sister Ji was not blocked, then it shows that Qing Xiaoning used a forbidden technique, or perished together with them. Nalan Rushua's words had not yet finished, when she was interrupted by Yen Ji. What did you say? Qing Xiaoning could kill so many profound core cultivators by himself? What forbidden technique? This is absolutely impossible. Yen Ji's complexion turned a bit strange. She was very clear about Qing Xiaoning's cultivation. Even if he was back-to-back with her to deal with the silver-patterned demon wolves, it would still be impossible for a single person to kill so many profound core cultivators, even if he used a powerful forbidden technique. Senior Apprentice Sister Ji, it is true, because that Qing Xiaoning is a devil cultivator. Moreover, he is a devil cultivator with the cultivation of profound core realm. Seeing Yen Ji questioning Nalan Rushua, a male cultivator in Cheng Yixiao's team took the initiative to explain. Devil cultivator? How is that possible? If Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng was really so powerful, then he would not have teamed up with us. Besides, before we separated, he had also joined forces to deal with the silver-patterned demon wolves. Moreover, he was just and honorable. He is absolutely not a devil cultivator. Yen Ji retorted without hesitation. Zhang Sun Yan was already feeling flustered in her heart. At this time, when she heard Yen Ji say that Ning Cheng was not a devil cultivator, she quickly spoke out everything that she wanted to say. From those cultivators who had set up the blue stone door to block their path, to publicly humiliating Zhuang Xiangsha, to Ning Cheng helping them. It was not until the end, that Ning Cheng was able to pin down those cultivators, that everyone was able to pass through the blue stone door, and even spoke about the matter of them entering the second segment of the Law's Way. When Yen Ji heard this, her complexion immediately changed, as she asked in a stern voice, those people humiliated Junior Apprentice Sister Sha Sha in public, aren't they no different from beasts? Why didn't you come forward to help? That Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng was also trying to help everyone, and was surrounded by those beasts. Chapter 207. Hearing Yen Ji's reprimanding words, Cheng Yixiao immediately revealed a look of shame on his face. Even until now, this matter had caused him to feel depressed and flustered in his heart. Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, please be careful with your words. Xiang An, seeing Yen Ji speak without any sense of propriety, quickly reminded her. What is there to be cautious about? Do you think that Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng is not a devil cultivator that I do not know? Besides, even if he is a devil cultivator, if he can help you, then why can't you help others when they are in danger? Yan Ji spoke out in a sarcastic manner without any hesitation. Xiang quickly sent a sound transmission to Yan Ji, Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, have you forgotten about the matter of the Kun Yun Academy from hundreds of years ago? The Woon Yen Academy had also participated in the siege, all because Jing Hao had helped a devil cultivator. Now that the Woon Yen Academy was one of the 3 major academies, what about the Kun Yun Academy? You are a core disciple of our Blue Cloud Academy, and our Blue Cloud Academy is about to become a 9-star academy. There are many people who are jealous of us, so you must be careful with your words. Yan Ji's heart skipped a beat, she suddenly remembered this matter. A female cultivator standing next to Nalan Rushua spoke up in a sarcastic manner, that is because Senior Apprentice Sister Ji is not there. If Senior Apprentice Sister Ji was there, then maybe Senior Apprentice Sister Ji would have been the first to go up and help. Initially on the airship, didn't Senior Apprentice Sister Ji already help that Senior Apprentice Brother Devil Cultivator Ching once? So what if I am? Yan Ji's eyes revealed a cold glint, as she stared at this female cultivator and asked, just a moment ago Xiang's reminder, she once again threw it aside. Cheng Yixiao saw that the more he spoke, the more he hurriedly waved his hands and spoke. Previously Junior Apprentice Sister Ji also did not know that Cheng Xiaoning was a devil cultivator, moreover we also did not know that he was. Moreover, from a moral point of view, we should indeed go and help, but... Cheng Yixiao was originally not good with words, as such when he spoke till here he unexpectedly got stuck. Another cultivator hurriedly said, it's just that devil cultivators are unpredictable. Moreover, that devil cultivator's demonic nature had already gone berserk at that time, and he was constantly using forbidden techniques. If we had gone up to help, we would have definitely suffered a backlash. However, since this fiendish cultivator was willing to lend a hand, it shows that his wisdom and kindness are still there. When Cheng Yixiao heard those words, his face immediately turned red. If that Cheng Xiaoning was here, then these words would be equivalent to slapping his face. Yan Ji sneered, and no longer spoke, she just cupped her fists and spoke, this is the second segment of the Law's Way, there are a lot of monstrous beasts here, presumably everyone is aware of this. Whether or not we can pass through the second segment and enter the third segment, is the key to us coming out of the Law's Way. I don't think there's any point in forming a team anymore. In a place like this, everyone can only rely on their own opportunities. I'll take my leave first. Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, there is a Blood River Red Lotus in the second segment of the Blood River Mountains, it is a priceless treasure, why don't we wait until we obtain the Blood River Red Lotus, and then we can talk about the matter of separating. Hearing that Yan Ji wanted to leave alone, Xiang quickly opened his mouth to urge her to stay. That's right, we are also planning to go to the Blood River Mountains to collect the Blood River Red Lotus. The more people we have going to the Blood River Mountains, the better it would be. Let's merge our 2 teams together. What Cheng Yixiao said was what he was thinking in his heart. Going to the Blood River Mountains to collect the Blood River Red Lotus, the more people the better. Moreover, the Blood River Mountains had a unique characteristic, after entering the Law's Way for 3 years, one would not be able to get close to the Blood River Mountains. Therefore, if he wanted to harvest the Blood River Red Lotus, the sooner the better. There are a lot of good things in here, I decided to look for my own opportunities alone. Yan Ji refused without hesitation. Saying that, Yan Ji had already changed her direction, and was soon already far away. Jia Lingwei, seeing that Yan Ji had already left, suddenly cupped her fists towards the rest of the people and spoke, I think that what Junior Apprentice Sister Yan Ji said is right, looking for opportunities in here, it would be better for us to go by ourselves, me and Zhang Sun Yan are also planning to leave. Fellow senior apprentice brothers and junior apprentice sisters, goodbye. Immediately following Yan Ji's departure, Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sun Yan also quickly left. Yan Ji stopped, as she looked at Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sun Yan who were chasing after her and asked, why didn't you team up with them? The people in that team are too hypocritical, there is no meaning in staying in it. Zhang Sun Yan was a straightforward person, and directly spoke out. Jia Lingwei gave a faint smile and spoke, me and Yen Yen really do not want to continue to stay in that team, moreover it is not our academy's team. Moreover, the reason why I found junior apprentice Sister Ji is because there are some things that I want to discuss with you. Yen Ji felt that Zhang Sun Yan's words were very much in line with her temperament, as such her tone eased a bit and spoke, Senior apprentice Sister Lingwei, you can speak. Actually, when senior apprentice brother Ning was fighting with those cultivators who were blocking the way, me and Yen Yen chose to leave, because I knew that staying there would not be of any use. The only impact it would have on the Dragon and Phoenix Academy was to make friends with a devil cultivator as an excuse. Of course, if I could really save senior apprentice brother Ning, then I simply do not care about this excuse, moreover I certainly would not leave because of this reason, moreover I would not be afraid of dying. The Dragon and Phoenix Academy has existed for thousands of years, it naturally has its own reasons, and would not be destroyed because of an insignificant disciple like me. Jia Lingwei spoke with sincerity. Is Qing Xiaoning really a devil cultivator? Yen Ji still did not believe it, although she agreed with Jia Lingwei's words, but she was more concerned about whether Ning Cheng was a devil cultivator or not. Jia Lingwei spoke in a congealed voice, whether he is a devil cultivator or not, I do not know, but his magical weapon is an ugly-looking axe. Once that axe was brought out, it immediately brought out a thick and bitter aura of a devil cultivator. Moreover, after that axe beheaded several cultivators, that ruthless and bloodthirsty devil nature aura became even more exuberant. That's not right. He is an ice-type magical technique, moreover he is also using a flying sword, how could it be an axe? Moreover, I have only been separated from him for a little more than a year, how could there be such a big change? Yen Ji still frowned as she spoke to herself. Speaking till here, she suddenly remembered something, as she stared at Jia Lingwei and spoke, Senior apprentice Sister Lingwei, you just mentioned senior apprentice brother Ning twice a moment ago, isn't he senior apprentice brother Cheng? Jia Lingwei sighed and spoke, Junior apprentice Sister Ji, this is the matter that I wanted to talk to you about. You speak. Yen Ji felt that things seemed a bit strange. Jia Lingwei nodded, if I have not guessed wrong, then that Qing Xiaoning's original name should be Ning Cheng. Zhang Sun Yan asked in shock, Elder Sister Lingwei, you said that senior apprentice Sister Rushua killed that devil cultivator Ning Cheng? That. Rushua killed Ning Cheng. What's going on? For Yen Ji, she was more familiar with Qing Xiaoning, and had never heard of Ning Cheng. That's right, it is indeed like that. Jia Lingwei spoke in a dignified manner, I only thought about it later, before I left, he was seriously injured and was smashed against a boulder. I looked back at him, and found that his eyes were somewhat familiar, with a trace of disappointment. Previously, when he scolded Naylan Rushue for being ungrateful, he also had this kind of expression in his eyes. Then I thought of the name Qing Xiaoning, if this name was reversed, then wouldn't it be Ning Xiaocheng? Removing the word Xiao, it would be Ning Cheng. Yen Ji asked in a surprised voice, why did he scold Naylan Rushue for being ungrateful? What exactly is the matter with Naylan Rushue killing Ning Cheng? Jia Lingwei knew about this matter in more detail. Originally Naylan Rushue did not want to speak about the matter of Ning Cheng's chest, she even stopped Ning Cheng from speaking about it. But after Ning Cheng was sent to Master Shu's place, her heart had always been filled with knots, moreover she felt that other people were looking at her in a strange way. So she finally explained the grievances between her and Ning Cheng, and even spoke about Ning Cheng's excuse. After listening to Naylan Rushue's explanation, at that time Jia Lingwei was more in agreement with Naylan Rushue's point of view. After all, being groped by someone in a coma, for a woman it really was not something worth being happy about. However, she also thought that Naylan Rushue's method of killing people with a borrowed knife was somewhat inappropriate, but she and Ning Cheng did not know each other, so she did not say anything about this matter. But now that her life was saved by Ning Cheng, if Ning Cheng had not come, she was sure that Naylan Rushue would have had the opportunity to escape, but she and Zhang Sun Yan absolutely would not have been able to escape. At this moment when Yen Ji asked about it, Jia Lingwei also did not conceal anything, and spoke about the matter between Ning Cheng and Naylan Rushue. Finally, she said, with Ning Cheng's ability, it seems that he was not lying when he said that he had saved Naylan Rushue, it should be the truth. Yan Ji's eyes turned cold. Ning Qing really did not speak incorrectly about this woman, saying that she was ungrateful would be too light. Obviously he had risked his life to save her from the hands of that evil cultivator, but she still had the idea of killing people with a borrowed knife. Fortunately, that Master Shu did not lay her hands on Ning Cheng, otherwise Ning Cheng would have died a wrongful death. Are those breasts of hers worth so much? Aren't they just 2 lumps of meat? What's so rare about them? I am really unlucky to actually be on the same level as this kind of person. That's right, they are just 2 lumps of meat. Who among us doesn't have them? I will be even bigger than her in the future, so what's so rare about them? Zhang Sun Yan found a person in the same camp as her, and her words were even sharper. Jia Lingwei's face was a bit embarrassed. She knew that Nalan Rushue was not a vicious person, but she had misunderstood Ning Cheng. In that kind of situation, it was really very difficult for people to understand. Now that Zhang Sun Yan and Yan Ji had formed an alliance to scold Nalan Rushue, Jia Lingwei quickly spoke up. Junior apprentice sister Rushue should not have known that Ning Cheng was able to deal with profound congealing cultivators with his essence-building cultivation. As such, it was a misunderstanding. In the future, when she comes to understand, she will definitely apologize to Ning Cheng. Apologize? Yan Ji sneered. She is a core disciple of a 9-star academy. Why would she apologize to a devil cultivator? Jia Lingwei, on seeing this, spoke up. Let's not talk about this anymore. The reason I came looking for junior apprentice sister Ji is because I have another matter to discuss. They are going to the Blood River Mountains to look for the Blood River Red Lotus. I don't know if junior apprentice sister Ji wants to go or not. If junior apprentice sister Ji also wants to go there, then I have a secret passage that leads to the Blood River Mountains. I also want to go there, but I do not want to join forces with these hypocrites. If senior apprentice sister Lingwei has a secret passage, then it would be the best. Why don't the 3 of us join forces to go there? Yan Ji had already planned to go to the Blood River Mountains. Collecting the Blood River Red Lotus was one of her tasks, so how could she give it up? Ning Cheng was already at profound congealing 5th level. The speed at which he absorbed the spiritual qi was obviously much faster than before, but his progress did not seem to have the same momentum that he had at the beginning. The inexhaustible spiritual qi was being transformed into liquid true essence and filled up his core lake. But his core lake was simply too powerful. Even if he filled it with even more liquid true essence, it was like mud entering the sea. Even after his cultivation reached profound congealing 5th level, his progress unexpectedly slowed down. The effect of swallowing pills had also lost its original sharpness. Moreover, he did not have any higher level pills, and also did not know how to refine them. As another half a month passed by, Ning Cheng finally stopped his cultivation. His cultivation was still at profound congealing 5th level, but this was only the tip of the iceberg. If he wanted to go further, then relying purely on spirit stones would be somewhat difficult. As such, he had to find a new opportunity to advance. Ning Cheng believed that in the second segment of the Law's Way, there should be many good things compared to the first segment. Chapter 208. Ning Cheng had just come out of seclusion when he encountered a group of iron-backed thunder leopards. The strongest iron-backed thunder leopard was at least level 5, while the rest were level 3 and level 4. After the group of iron-backed thunder leopards saw Ning Cheng, they immediately swarmed towards him. Grey Toot Toot, who was on Ning Cheng's shoulder, could only grimace and squeak, but it was not even half a bit of use. Ning Cheng did not care about it. He could even kill 20 to 30 profound core cultivators, so why would he be worried about these 2 trivial class 5 thunder leopards? Moreover, most of them were class 3 and class 4 thunder leopards. He leisurely brought out his profound break spear, as the profound ice spear shadows swept out. 36 profound ice spear shadows. Ning Cheng was now able to fully display them. The dense profound ice spear shadows were countless times more powerful than before. These iron-backed thunder leopards had just released their lightning arcs, when they were immediately blocked by the profound ice spear light net. With a burst of crackling sounds, the profound ice spear's shadows broke through the dense lightning arcs of the thunder leopards, causing some of the lower-leveled thunder leopards to fall into chaos. The skin of these iron-backed thunder leopards was simply too thick. As such, Ning Cheng's profound ice spear shadows, other than a small number of Class 3 thunder leopards, did not have much of an effect on the rest of the thunder leopards. Even if that was the case, these iron-backed thunder leopards also knew that Ning Cheng was not someone to be trifled with. The Class 5 thunder leopard roared loudly, and led the rest of the thunder leopards away, and soon disappeared into the boundless wilderness. Ning Cheng did not chase after them. The thunder leopards were extremely fast. Once they scattered and escaped, then there would be no point in chasing after them. Furthermore, he had more than enough ironback thunder leopard materials in his storage ring. After walking for 2 days, even Ning Cheng did not dare to fly in this place. In the second segment of the Law's Way, not only were there many monstrous beasts, but they were also getting more and more powerful. Apart from the demonic beasts, there were also many dangerous places in the second section. If one was not careful, they would fall into a trap. Ning Cheng had almost been sucked into the whirlpool of the swamp several times. If not for his twin heavenly cloud wings, then perhaps he would have already fallen into it. After a few days, Ning Cheng finally summed up a pattern. The distribution of spiritual qi in the second segment of the Law's Way was extremely uneven. As such, one would have to try to walk in a place where the spiritual qi was scarce. There were very few demonic beasts in this kind of place, and there were not many dangerous forbidden areas. Even if there were, most of them were not fatal. However, while it was safe to travel in a place with a lack of spiritual energy, there was a drawback, and that was that there was nothing good to be found. Whether it was spirit grasses or precious materials, they could not be found in these places. If he wanted good stuff, he would have to find a place with dense spiritual qi. The denser the spiritual qi, the more good stuff he would be able to obtain. Of course, the more dangerous it was. Regarding the situation inside the Law's Way, Ning Cheng estimated that among all the people who came in, he was the one who knew the least. However, even if he knew the least, he knew that if he kept walking in the safe area where spiritual energy was scarce, he would not be able to survive. Even if he walked like this for the rest of his life, he estimated that he would not be able to walk out of the second segment of the Law's Way, not to mention looking for the spiritual enhancement true nectar. Since he had entered the Law's Way, then he would have to look for his own opportunities. Ning Cheng began to specifically look for places with rich spiritual qi, although these places were indeed very dangerous, but Ning Cheng relied on his twin heavenly cloud wings, and was able to escape from groups of monstrous beasts several times. Because of this, Ning Cheng obtained a lot of good things. The best thing was that he had obtained more than 10 profound life fruits, which was one of the spirit grasses that he wanted the most right now. The profound life fruit was a level 5 spirit grass and was the main ingredient for refining the profound life pill. The profound life pill was a pill used by profound congealing cultivators and profound essence cultivators to restore their true essence, and was classified as a level 5 profound pill. For Ning Cheng, this kind of pill was very important. When he had dealt with that group of profound core cultivators, if he had the profound life pill, then he absolutely would not have suffered such heavy injuries. In this way, Ning Cheng used a guerrilla warfare approach to search. If he encountered a dangerous place, he would immediately retreat, and if he encountered a place where he could snatch the spiritual objects, he would immediately go forward. Along the way, Ning Cheng's most dangerous encounter was when he was almost sucked into a spatial wind edge belt. Even with his twin heavenly cloud wings in this kind of spatial wind edge belt, it was completely useless. After experiencing this kind of thing, Ning Cheng was even more careful. If the things were not very precious, then he would generally not take such risks. But now, Ning Cheng was staring at a piece of spiritual grass in the distance, and was not willing to leave. This piece of spiritual grass was not very high level, it was only a level 4 silver spiritual flower. Although the silver spiritual flower was only a level 4 spiritual grass, but it was one of the most precious spiritual grasses for profound congealing cultivators, and was also one of the top level 4 spiritual grasses. This kind of spiritual grass could be used to refine the spiritual accumulation pill. The spiritual accumulation pill was the best pill for late-stage profound congealing cultivators to use for their cultivation. Although the spiritual accumulation pill was only a level 4 pill, but compared to the essence accumulation pill, its grade was several times higher. Not to mention that this place was filled with wild silver spiritual flowers. The effect of the silver spiritual flowers planted by the cultivators themselves could not be compared to it. But what made Ningqing depressed was that this piece of silver spiritual flower was growing in the middle of a whirlpool swamp. Moreover, next to this piece of silver spiritual flowers, there were 2 peak class 5 one-horned mammoth demons. These 2 one-horned mammoth demons, one big and one small, were both staring at Ningqing, and were very vigilant. Ningqing really did not understand, why would these 2 peak class 5 monstrous beasts want to guard these silver spiritual flowers that were not of much use to them. However, no matter how difficult it was to obtain these silver spiritual flowers, Ningqing did not want to give up. He was sure that as long as he could obtain a few silver spiritual flowers, and refine them into spiritual accumulation pills, then he would definitely be able to advance his cultivation to the great circle of the profound congealing realm. Moreover, with so many silver spiritual flowers, even if he could not use up the spiritual accumulation pills, he could still sell them in large quantities. Ningqing took out his true cosmic devil axe. He decided to take a risk and give it a try. The 2 one-horned mammoth demons were staring at him, and did not rush out. It was clear that as long as Ningqing did not violate their territory, they would not take the initiative to attack Ningqing. In this area, these monstrous beasts that did not take the initiative to attack their opponents were relatively mild. The temptation of the silver spiritual flowers made Ningqing carefully move forward. As he got closer to the place where the silver spiritual flowers were growing, the suction from the swamp was getting stronger and stronger. Ningqing was even more puzzled. Why were these 2 one-horned mammoth demons not affected by the suction from the whirlpool of the swamp? Seeing Ningqing still approaching them, a larger gray-colored one-horned mammoth demon issued out a burst of roars, as if it was threatening Ningqing. When it saw that Ningqing was not threatened, it unexpectedly rushed out of its original position, and rushed towards Ningqing. The true devil axe in Ningqing's hands directly brought out an axe-line whirlpool, as it rumbled towards this one-horned mammoth demon. He still had some leeway. These 2 one-horned mammoth demons looked relatively mild. As such, Ningqing did not intend to kill these 2 one-horned mammoth demons. After all, this was something that he had snatched from these monstrous beasts. On Earth, beasts did not have any spiritual wisdom, but in this place, the class 5 monstrous beasts were able to open up a bit of spiritual wisdom. Ningqing did not regard these 2 one-horned mammoth demons as beasts that did not understand anything. His idea was to snatch some of the silver spiritual flowers, and then immediately leave. Although Ningqing did not use his full strength in this axe-intent whirlpool, but even a late-stage profound core cultivator would not dare to underestimate it. What Ningqing did not expect was that this one-horned mammoth demon that was rushing towards him not only did not evade, but instead directly used its horn to strike Ningqing's axe-intent whirlpool. A powerful backlash came, causing Ningqing to feel a burst of stuffiness in his chest. He immediately knew that this was not good. This peak class 5 one-horned mammoth demon was far more powerful than he had expected. Bang! The power of the one-horned mammoth demon's monstrous essence exploded on top of Ningqing's axe-intent whirlpool, directly shattering Ningqing's axe-intent whirlpool, while Ningqing was also sent flying by this kind of force. The powerful suction force coming from the swamp made Ningqing even more depressed. Why was he able to feel this kind of suction force, while the one-horned mammoth demon was not even the slightest bit affected by it? Ningqing desperately stimulated the twin heavenly cloud wings. Even if he was more powerful, he absolutely could not fall into the swamp. Once he was sucked into the swamp whirlpool, wanting to come out again, it would be extremely difficult. The might of the twin heavenly cloud wings at this time was without a doubt, as Ningqing forcibly broke away from the suction force of the swamp. Immediately he saw that his position was not far from the silver spiritual flowers, and was immediately overjoyed. At this time the other one-horned mammoth demon that was guarding the silver spiritual flowers seemed to be somewhat afraid of him, as its eyes were filled with fear. Ningqing did not hesitate, as he directly stimulated the twin heavenly cloud wings and rushed towards the silver spiritual flowers. He had not yet reached the front of the silver spiritual flowers, when his hand had already grabbed them. He decided to catch as many as he could, in the face of these two one-horned mammoth demons, moreover in the swamp whirlpool, wanting to defeat them and obtain the silver spiritual flowers was simply too difficult. According to the current distance between him and the second young one-horned mammoth demon, Ning Qing calculated that after he grabbed the silver spiritual flowers, it would be too late for that one-horned mammoth demon to attack him. Bang! Ka! Ning Cheng's hand had just caught the silver spiritual blossoms at the same time, when another one-horned mammoth demon that was originally cowering in fear suddenly rushed towards Ning Cheng like a madman, and similarly used its horn to attack Ning Cheng's back. Ning Cheng was just like a meteor as he was sent flying, and was instantly injured. If he had to do it again, Ning Cheng would absolutely not do such a thing. He simply did not think that the speed of this small one-horned mammoth demon would be 5 or 6 times faster than the big one. He had calculated that at this distance, the small one-horned mammoth demon would not be able to sneak attack him, but he did not calculate that the speed of this small one-horned mammoth demon would be this fast. Almost at the same time that he launched the sneak attack, it had already succeeded. The powerful suction force of the swamp whirlpool came over, Ning Qing crazily stimulated the twin heavenly cloud wings, and with great difficulty was barely able to break away from the swamp whirlpool, and rushed out. If he did not have the twin heavenly cloud wings, with this sudden change of events, Ning Qing was sure that he would have been sucked into the swamp whirlpool. Spitting out a mouthful of blood, Ning Qing could feel the bones in his back breaking, and was already suspecting in his heart that the cowering eyes of that small one-horned mammoth demon from before was just an act. Otherwise, that kind of sneak attack speed, that kind of sneak attack timing, was simply indescribable. If he had not seen it with his own eyes, Ning Qing would not have believed that a one-horned mammoth demon's speed would be this fast. After Ning Cheng was injured, he quickly escaped. Fortunately the two one-horned mammoth demons were not aggressive, seeing that Ning Cheng had not stolen many silver spiritual flowers, they did not continue to chase after Ning Cheng. Chapter 209. Although this injury was not a serious injury to Ning Cheng, but the pain was real. Ning Qing saw that the one-horned mammoth demon was not chasing after them, and also felt relieved as he sat down, and swallowed a healing pill. The place he was at was already a place with thin spiritual qi. Generally, demonic beasts would rarely come to this kind of place. Besides, his injuries were not serious. After eating the healing pills, he would be fine after sitting down for a while. His injuries had not yet fully healed, when Ning Cheng once again grabbed the profound break spear, a person's shadow stumbled over from a distance. Ning Cheng immediately recognized who this person was, causing him to feel relieved as he once again put away the profound break spear. At the same time, he took out a jade box and placed the 6 stalks of silver spiritual blossoms beside him into it. These few stalks of silver spiritual blossoms were obtained by him risking his little life. He could not casually throw them around. "Ah, you are senior apprentice brother Ning Cheng." After this figure arrived in front of Ning Cheng, the first sentence spoken by him immediately shocked Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng was stunned for a good while before he asked, "Zhang Sun Yan, how did you know that I am Ning Cheng?" "Senior apprentice brother Ning, why are you also injured, are you alright?" Zhang Sun Yan, on seeing Ning Cheng's back was covered in blood, immediately asked in a nervous manner. It seemed that she was even more nervous than her own injuries. Ning Cheng was speechless as he spoke. "You should worry about yourself, I'm fine." The clothes on Zhang Sun Yan's body were in tatters, and there was a bloody wound on her abdomen, which completely tore apart the clothes covering her abdomen. Just a little more and it would reach the navel. The exposed skin on her abdomen was no longer white, but rather had turned gray because of the mud. If one did not look carefully, they would have thought that it was Zhang Sun Yan's underwear. Her hair was also incomparably messy. Fortunately Ning Cheng was acquainted with Zhang Sun Yan, otherwise, he simply would not have believed that this was Zhang Sun Yan. When he had first met Zhang Sun Yan, her face still had some baby fat on it, her hair was also combed neatly and beautifully, and her voice was also soft and gentle. How could she be as sloppy and distressed as she was now? "Aya, this is not good, senior apprentice brother Ning, I beg you to save elder sister Lingwei, Big Brother Ning, if you do not save elder sister Lingwei, then she will not be able to. Zhang Sun Yan finally reacted. She had come here to look for help. Finally, she even changed the way she addressed him to Big Brother Ning. It could be seen that Zhang Sun Yan was incomparably anxious. Ning Qing knew who this elder sister Lingwei that Zhang Sun Yan was talking about was. It should be Jia Lingwei, who was always together with Zhang Sun Yan. However, regarding Zhang Sun Yan's call for help, Ning Qing was not too nervous or anxious. Moreover, he and Jia Lingwei were not good friends. Besides, initially when those cultivators had set up the blue stone door at the entrance of the second segment, he had taken the initiative to help them. Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sun Yan were well aware that he was in danger, but they still chose to walk away, and did not even try to help him. He didn't ask anyone else to help him, but Zhuang Xiangsha stayed behind. I am a devil cultivator, and a heavily injured one at that. Zhang Sun Yan, you and I have been talking for such a long time, it seems to be somewhat inappropriate. Zhang Sun Yan completely did not care about the sarcasm in Ning Cheng's tone, as she anxiously spoke. Big Brother Ning, there is also senior apprentice sister Yan Ji. You said that Yan Ji is also here. What are they going to do? When Ning Qing heard Yan Ji's name, he immediately interrupted Zhang Sun Yan's words and asked a question. Yan Ji was a good person, as such Ning Qing had a very good impression of her. Moreover, Yan Ji had also helped him. If something happened to Yan Ji, and he met her, then he really would not be able to help her. Zhang Sun Yan quickly explained the purpose of the three people going to the Blood River Mountains to Ning Qing, and finally even talked about how Jia Lingwei recognized Ning Qing. When Ning Qing heard that Zhang Sun Yan was able to recognize him, it was because Jia Lingwei had seen through his eyes and his name. He also felt somewhat helpless. When he had called himself Qing Xiaoning, he had not really intended to conceal his origins. After all, even if he was recognized by others, as long as he entered the law's way, he would not care about it. Because when he went out, he would have to restore his identity. But he had not thought that because he was using the true cosmic devil axe, he would be misunderstood as a devil cultivator to such a serious extent. After all, he had come from Earth, as such he did not know about the degree of disgust towards devil cultivators in the Yixing mainland. Moreover, elder sister Shu did not seem to care about this matter, and just helped him change his appearance. If he had known that such a thing would happen, when he had named himself, he would have definitely changed his name to something completely unrelated, rather than casually pronouncing his name backwards. Ning Qing was very open-minded. Since he had been recognized as Ning Qing, then he did not have anything to be afraid of. Other than Ji Luofei, he did not have any other relatives here. The Yixing mainland was so big, as long as he found Luofei, and then looked for a place to cultivate, who would be able to find him? In the future, when his cultivation reached the peak, who would dare to talk about him being a devil cultivator? This Yixing mainland, Ning Qing had already seen through it. This was a place where strength was truly respected. When your strength surpassed others, even if you carried a sign saying that you were a devil cultivator and swaggered around, no one would come looking for you. Well, you change your clothes, we will go to the Blood River Mountains. Ning Qing stood up. He intended to save Yan Ji, but at the same time he also wanted to obtain the Blood River Red Lotus. The Blood River Red Lotus was an extremely rare rank 6 spiritual grass. It was very difficult to grow. This kind of spiritual grass could be used to refine the clean lotus pill. The clean lotus pill was a rank 6 profound pill. Not only could it remove the impurities in the body of a cultivator, but it could also decompose pill toxins. In addition to this, the clean lotus pill was one of the best pills for a profound core cultivator to break through a bottleneck. Ning Qing now had the silver spiritual blossom, so advancing to the profound core realm was only a matter of time. The Blood River Red Lotus was very important to him. No need to change clothes, let's hurry up. I am afraid that senior apprentice sister Ji and elder sister Lingwei would not be able to hold on for too long. Zhang Sun Yan was very smart. She knew that Ning Qing valued Yan Ji more than Jia Lingwei, as such she simply put senior apprentice sister Ji in front of him. After saying that, Zhang Sun Yan was afraid that Ning Cheng would have a knot in his heart, and took the initiative to explain, "Big brother Ning, the fact is that elder sister Ling Wei took me away was not because she was afraid of death or because she was ungrateful like Nailan Rushue. But because elder sister Ling Wei knew that even if we stayed there, we would not be able to help you, as such she chose to leave. Elder sister Ling Wei said that if she could save you, she would definitely not leave. She said that even if you were a devil cultivator, the Dragon and Phoenix Academy has existed for thousands of years, and has its own way of survival, and would absolutely not be exterminated just because she saved a devil cultivator." Ning Cheng had said that Nailan Rushue was ungrateful in front of Zhang Sun Yan, but how would Zhang Sun Yan and Jia Lingwei know about the details of this matter? "How do you know that Nailan Rushue is ungrateful?" Ning Cheng asked again in doubt. He knew that Jia Lingwei and Nailan Rushue had a good relationship, as such she would not say that Nailan Rushue was ungrateful. Zhang Sun Yan spoke with disdain. "You risked your life to save Nailan Rushue from the hands of two profound congealing cultivators, but she even suspected that you had taken advantage of her. Senior apprentice Sister Ji said that it was just 2 lumps of meat. Even if you let me touch it, I would not touch it. If I am not interested, then Big Brother Ning, your ability is so high, so you would definitely not be interested." Nailan Rushue being ungrateful was something that I said to elder sister Ji, but elder sister Ling Wei did not say anything about it, and even helped her explain a few words. Ning Cheng blushed with shame. This Zhang Sun Yan's words were completely different from her original playful and adorable appearance, as well as her tranquil and gentle appearance. It was reasonable to say that since she was following behind Jia Lingwei, she should have been influenced by her words. Even if one was not interested in this kind of thing, what did it have to do with one's cultivation level? Zhang Sun Yan was not someone who did not understand anything, but after she finished speaking those words, she immediately knew that her reason was completely nonsensical. It was just that she was affected by Yan Ji's words, and did not like Nailan Rushue at all, as such she was just speaking nonsense. Ning Cheng was not interested in the meat on Nailan Rushue's chest. It was definitely not because of his high ability. Ning Cheng waved his hand and spoke, "This matter is already in the past. I have nothing to do with her in the past, nor will I have anything to do with her in the future. You tell me, why did senior apprentice Sister Lingwei say that if she saved me, then the Dragon and Phoenix Academy might be exterminated? I heard that a few hundred years ago, the Lu continent's largest academy, the Kuan-Yun Academy's disciple Jing Hao, in order to save a female devil cultivator, he killed several disciples of the academy. As a result, the Kuan-Yun Academy was found as an excuse. Dozens of academies joined forces to besiege the Kuan-Yun Academy, and the Kuan-Yun Academy was also exterminated overnight." Zhang Sun Yan was not very clear about this past event. The reason why she was able to speak about it to Ning Cheng was because Jia Lingwei had told her about it. So that's how it was. Ning Cheng muttered to himself, and did not ask any more questions. Chinese culture had existed for thousands of years, as such Ning Cheng had seen too many such things. The extermination of the Kuan-Yun Academy was definitely not because of a single disciple who had helped a devil cultivator. This was just an excuse. He did not believe that because of such a trivial matter, several academies would join forces to exterminate the Kuan-Yun Academy. This was just like the July 7th incident. Even if there was no July 7th incident, there would still be the July 7th incident, and then the July 9th incident. This kind of excuse could always be found. On the contrary, he was a lone person. Even if he was a devil cultivator, it would still be impossible for dozens of academies to besiege him. In this world, the so-called prestigious academies, Ning Cheng had seen a lot of them. But those academies that had a grudge with others, once they tried to make friends with him, then perhaps they would really be used as an excuse by others. "You lead the way." Ning Cheng saw that Zhang Sun Yan was not as bashful as Nailan Rushue, and also had a good impression of her. N. Zhang Sun Yan responded, as she flew along the thin spiritual qi along the way. Her speed was incomparably fast. Ning Cheng secretly nodded. These disciples from the prestigious academies really were different. If he did not have the mysterious yellow bead, then if he landed in the I Xing mainland, he would only be a slag. Why is it that senior apprentice sister Ji and senior apprentice sister Ling Wei are in trouble, and yet you are fine? Ning Qing asked as he followed behind Zhang Sun Yan. Zhang Sun Yan spoke with a lingering fear in her heart. The Blood River Mountains are very frightening. It is completely made up of red Blood River peaks. When we approached one of the Blood River peaks with the Blood River Red Lotus, we encountered a group of Blood River otters. Because the road to the Blood River peak is very narrow, senior apprentice sister Ling Wei let me stay at the bottom of the peak to provide support. The result was that after they went up, the number of Blood River otters increased, and finally they were trapped. If the Blood River is at high tide, then they would not be able to go down the peak, and would be drawn into the Blood River, then they would no longer be able to live. Ning Qing frowned. Why is there a Blood River, and also a mountain peak? I am a little confused listening to you. Big brother Ning, you will know once you get there. The time before the high tide of the Blood River is very short, we need to speed up a bit. Zhang Sun Yan could no longer explain, as she walked faster and faster. Chapter 210. Wait. Ning Qing grabbed Gong Sun Yan who was in front of him, as his figure turned into a shadow, and in just a twinkling of an eye disappeared from where he stood. Gong Sun Yan had not even reacted, when several heavy and fishy auras whistled past the place where they were standing a moment ago. Class 6 Monstrous Beasts. Gong Sun Yan cried out in alarm. These few monstrous beasts that had passed by them a moment ago were definitely Class 6 monstrous beasts without a doubt. Although level 6 demonic beasts would not take the initiative to attack their opponents in places with a lack of spiritual qi, once they blocked their opponent's path, they would definitely be killed by these demonic beasts without hesitation. That was close, I didn't even see it. Gong Sun Yan said as she patted her chest. Ning Qing knew that in this place where the spiritual qi was scarce, there were very few monstrous beasts residing here, but it did not mean that these monstrous beasts would not pass through this place. His spiritual consciousness was much stronger than Gong Sun Yan's, as such the speed of the Class 6 monstrous beast was incomparably fast. Fortunately, he had been paying attention to the surroundings, and was able to bring Gong Sun Yan out of the way in time. I will be careful from behind, I was too impatient a moment ago. Gong Sun Yan quickly spoke up. If she had been a bit more careful, then she really would have been able to avoid it in advance. No, you just have to be careful when we arrive at the Blood River Mountains. Maybe the Blood River tide would have already risen. I will take you there, you just need to point the way. Ning Qing said as he reached out his hand to grab Zhongsun Yan, and once again returned to the original direction. Gong Sun Yan immediately understood the meaning of Ning Cheng's words, and hurriedly pointed to the road in front of them, while constantly explaining the direction. The route was indeed somewhat strange and complicated. If not for Gong Sun Yan leading the way, they might not have been able to find it. Gong Sun Yan was brought forward by Ning Cheng, and their speed really was a lot faster. Initially, Gong Sun Yan simply did not think of anything, but in her heart, Jia Lingwei was even more anxious than Ning Cheng. However, as Ning Cheng's speed got faster and faster, it also became easier and easier for her to give directions. Instead, she started to think of something else. Ning Cheng's arm was pressing against her chest, which made her inexplicably recall the chest attack incident that Nalan Rushue had mentioned. That Nalan Rushue really was making a mountain out of a molehill. Even though Big Brother Ning was pressing down on it, it did not feel any pain or itch, it was just a little bloated. For Nalan Rushue to use a borrowed knife to kill someone for such a trivial matter, to say that she was ungrateful was too light. She had completely ignored the fact that she and Ning Qing knew each other, and had long since acquiesced to this matter. Regarding Nalan Rushue's matter, Yan Ji's words were already preconceived. Ning Qing really did not think about it at all. When he had first seen Gong Sun Yan still had some baby fat on her face, as such he subconsciously treated Gong Sun Yan as a little girl. Even so, he still paid attention. The clothes covering Gong Sun Yan's abdomen were all gone. When he held on to Gong Sun Yan, he deliberately avoided touching her abdomen, and moved up a bit. Big Brother Ning, they say that you are a devil cultivator, but why do I feel that you are not a devil cultivator? After walking for a while, Gong Sun Yan suddenly asked. Ning Cheng's tone was a bit depressed as he spoke. I am not a devil cultivator, moreover my axe is refined from the true cosmic devil metal, as such it has a devilish nature aura to it. Ah! Gongsun Yen cried out in alarm, and quickly spoke up, Big Brother Ning, the true cosmic devil metal is a priceless treasure, you must not go out and casually speak about it. Once some of the powerhouses come to know about it, they will definitely come to snatch it away. Ning Qing gave a self-deprecating smile, it doesn't matter if I say it or not, I guess there are already people who know about it. He had used his axe to kill so many people, moreover there were so many onlookers, there would definitely be people who would be able to guess that the magical weapon he used was refined from the true cosmic devil metal. That's also. Gongsun Yen in her heart felt very unfair for Ning Cheng, but she could not find any good words to comfort Ning Cheng. She said that Ning Cheng should not have saved people, at that time she was also one of the people who had been saved. For a time, the two people were silent. It's here. Although Gongsun Yan's mind was in a mess, but she did not forget her own task. When Ning Cheng arrived at a low stone hill, she quickly called out to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng put down Gongsun Yan and spoke, you lead the way. Gongsun Yan was very familiar with the 7 or 8 turns, and arrived in front of a smooth stone hill, after which she disappeared a few times. So it turned out to be a natural concealment array formation. Ning Cheng immediately recognized the place where Gongsun Yan disappeared. This natural array formation was not very advanced, as such he was able to see it with just a glance. Big Brother Ning, you give me your hand, I'll pull you in, this place is an array formation, if you do not understand it then you will not be able to go in. Gongsun Yan seemed to have noticed that Ning Cheng did not keep up, and once again came out. Ning Cheng waved his hand and spoke, you go first, I know how to go in. Such an array formation, how could he not go in? Gongsun Yan on hearing that Ning Cheng did not need her to lead the way, gave an "n" sound, and once again turned around to go in. Ning Cheng followed behind Gongsun Yan, and soon entered the concealment array formation. In front of them was a long gravel road. This gravel road was very long, and extended to a very far place. There are no more monstrous beasts in here, we can hurry up. Gongsun Yan spoke, as her speed increased. After the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, Gongsun Yan once again turned out of the small road, and entered a narrow valley entrance. Big Brother Ning, after this valley entrance is the Blood River Mountains. This valley was very short, and Ning Cheng and Gongsun Yan were able to quickly pass through it. When Ning Cheng saw the scene in front of him, he finally understood what it meant to be called the Blood River Mountains. The dense blood-red mountain peaks stretched far into the distance, even his spiritual consciousness was not able to sweep to the end. These mountains were all filled with blood-red rivers. These blood-red rivers gave off loud rumbling sounds as they tumbled, but at the same time they also brought with them a fishy smell. This was not the smell of blood, but rather an indescribable fishy smell. Ning Cheng was sure that he had not seen it wrong, these mountains were actually blood rivers. This completely went against the laws of gravity, as the blood rivers were spread out on top of these blood-red mountain peaks, it was just like a hanging river. Moreover these rivers were also tumbling endlessly, bringing with it a spray of water. The Milky Way falling from the 9th heaven was used to describe this scene. It would be more accurate to describe a waterfall, it was just that it had to be changed to a blood river. On top of each blood-red mountain peak, there were more than 1 or 2 blood rivers, and in between these blood rivers, there was always a narrow path. Ning Cheng also understood what Gongsun Yan meant when she said that the path in the blood river peaks was very narrow. What she was talking about was the path that hung down from the blood rivers. These blood rivers hung down from the top of the mountain peaks, and in addition to the fact that the river water was bright red in color, the rest of it was just like any ordinary river. It looked extremely strange, but Ning Cheng had already vaguely understood it. He was used to things falling from a high altitude, and the river water always flowed down from a high altitude. It was completely because of gravity, or perhaps it was a kind of habitual perception. If the gravity of the blood river peaks was much stronger than the gravity of the earth, and it was also evenly distributed, then what about it? Of course, Ning Cheng also knew that he was just guessing, or perhaps this blood river was actually an array formation. In this place, even if something strange happened, he would not find it unexpected. Big brother Ning, senior apprentice sister Ji and elder sister Lingwei are trapped inside. I'll take you there. Gong Sun Yen spoke, as she hurriedly entered the path under the Blood River peaks. Ning Qing hurriedly followed behind Gong Sun Yen. He found that his spiritual consciousness was simply unable to penetrate through these Blood River peaks, as his spiritual consciousness was immediately blocked in this place. Gong Sun Yen had not gone far, when Ning Qing saw Yan Ji and Jia Lingwei. The two of them were struggling back to back against the seemingly endless horde of red monstrous beasts. These red monstrous beasts were not big, but each and every one of them had bright red fur, and had 2 sharp teeth, while at the same time they had extremely sharp claws, and while they were attacking, they were simultaneously issuing ear-piercing screeches. Moreover, they simply did not care about their companions being killed, and were just like a tidal wave swarming towards Yan Ji and Jia Lingwei. Ning Qing could see that Yan Ji's blue meteor damask was covered in starlight, but it was only able to kill a very small number of the red monstrous beasts, while even more of the monstrous beasts were blown away by the starlight. At best they were only able to retreat a little, and then quickly rush up again. The fur of these red monstrous beasts was unexpectedly incomparably hard. These are all Blood River otters. Not only are they highly toxic, but their skin is also very thick. Ordinary magical techniques are simply useless against them. Gong Sun Yen quickly pointed towards the swarm of red monstrous beasts and explained to Ning Qing. Ning Qing nodded. He saw that the Blood River on both sides of the path that Yan Ji and Jia Lingwei were on had already begun to rise. The Blood River had even reached the path that they were on. Big brother Ning, you have to quickly help them. The tide of the Blood River is about to rise. Once the tide of the Blood River rises, it will directly submerge the path. Elder sister Lingwei and senior apprentice sister Ji will be swept away by the tide of the Blood River. They will definitely not be able to survive. We are too late. Gong Sun Yan's tone was filled with tears. Once the tide of the Blood River rises, even Ning Qing would not be able to save Jia Lingwei and Yan Ji. Even if Gong Sun Yan did not say anything, Ning Qing could already feel the danger. Even if the Blood River did not corrode them, if Yan Ji and Jia Lingwei were to be swept away by this Blood River, then they would definitely be eaten by the inexhaustible Blood River otters. This was the first time that Ning Qing had seen a Blood River otter, but when he was very young, he had heard a lot of ghost stories about water monkeys. Water monkeys were the name given to them in the countryside, but there were also people who called them water cats. He heard that this kind of thing was specialized in killing people in the water. After Ning Qing studied it, he had specially researched about it. He believed that this kind of water monkey was actually an otter, but had been mystified. Regardless of whether the Blood River otters were the same thing as the water monkeys or not, Ning Qing had already rushed towards the path in the middle of the Blood River. Jia Lingwei and Yan Ji were surrounded by an inexhaustible amount of Blood River otters, and the clothes on their bodies had already been torn to shreds. Looking at their disheveled appearance, compared to Gong Sun Yen who had been looking for Ning Qing before, they were in a much more distressed state. Ning Qing had already brought out the profound break spear in his hands, and an incomparably cold profound ice spear shadow swept out. With Ning Qing's current cultivation, after the 36 profound ice spear shadows were completely stimulated, it brought out a terrifying ice net, which in an instant shocked these Blood River otters. The Blood River otters here were mostly at rank 3 or rank 4. If Ning Qing brought out his true devil axe, and fully displayed his axe line, then perhaps he would be able to kill a large number of them with just a single axe strike. This was the disparity between their cultivations. The Blood River otters on both sides also seemed to be because of Ning Qing's profound ice spear shadows. At this moment it began to roar. A large amount of Blood River waves pushed forward, and instantly submerged the path in front of them. Jia Lingwei and Yan Ji, the two people continuously stimulated their true essence to kill the Blood River otters, and were already like an arrow at the end of its flight. This kind of large amount of Blood River waves, they simply could not stop it. While they were still in a daze for a moment, they suddenly felt their bodies become light. Boom! The next moment the Blood River waves swept past their feet. Chapter 211. Jia Lingwei reacted quickly. As she felt a man's aura, she immediately knew that she was being held in the arms of a man. She subconsciously raised her hand towards Ning Cheng, who was holding her. But after she made her move, she immediately knew that her move was wrong, as the other party was trying to save her. Not waiting for her to take her hand back, Yan Ji's hand had already reached out to block Jia Lingwei's attack. She and Ning Cheng had fought back to back, and the moment she was held in Ning Cheng's arms, she immediately knew that it was Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng had saved her, so how could she let Jia Lingwei make her move? Elder sister Lingwei, senior apprentice sister Ji, what are you doing? Zhang Sun Yan looked at Jia Lingwei and Yan Ji, as she asked in a puzzled manner. Just a moment ago when the two of them were fighting, she had already seen it. How could the two of them who were being held in Ning Cheng's arms still fight? On the contrary, the multicolored light flashing behind Ning Cheng made her forget to ask about it. Jia Lingwei and Yan Ji had already been put down by Ning Cheng. Both of them were cultivators at the great circle of the profound congealing realm, although they had fought until now, and their true essence was almost exhausted, but they were still able to stand up. Jia Lingwei's face immediately turned red, as she quickly cupped her fists towards Ning Cheng and said, "Many thanks senior apprentice brother Ning for coming to our rescue." Ning Cheng nodded, indicating that he accepted her thanks. Jia Lingwei's gratitude towards him was something that she should have. He really did come here specifically to save them. Although he also wanted to obtain the Blood River Red Lotus, but if it was only for the Blood River Red Lotus, then there was no need for him to rush here. Thank you senior apprentice brother Cheng. Yan Ji quickly cupped her fists and thanked him. In her heart she was still shocked as to how Ning Cheng was able to come down from the Blood River. It was just like teleportation, but what kind of cultivation level was needed to teleport? Moreover, a teleportation cultivation method was not something that anyone could obtain. If it was not teleportation, then Ning Cheng must have used a flight-type cultivation method. One had to know that the suction force of the whirlpool of the Blood River was much stronger than the whirlpools in the Law's Way. Because of this, in order to reach the top of the Blood River Peak, one could only climb up from the Blood River Peak, and could not use a flight-type magical weapon or a flying sword to fly up. Even if Ning Cheng had used a flight-type cultivation method, how could he not be sucked into the Blood River? Ning Cheng smiled and spoke, "Since everyone already knows that I am called Ning Cheng, then junior apprentice sister Ji can just call me Ning Cheng." At this moment, the veil covering Yan Ji's face had long since disappeared. While Ning Cheng was speaking, he was also secretly startled by Yan Ji's beauty, although at this time Yan Ji's face was covered with sweat, but it did not affect her beauty in the slightest. A few strands of hair were stuck to her cheeks due to the sweat on her originally perfect and beautiful face, adding a bit of a human aura to her perfect oval face. Although both of them had the same peerlessly beautiful face, Ning Cheng felt that Yan Ji had a much more warm and gentle aura compared to Nailan Rushue. This was definitely not because of Nailan Rushue's bad attitude towards him, but because when he saw Nailan Rushue's eyes were tightly closed. No matter how beautiful a face was, with its eyes closed, it would lose a bit of vitality. But Yan Ji not only had big sparkling eyes, but there were also a few strands of hair sticking to her cheeks, making people feel that she was a bit more real. As soon as he saw Nailan Rushue open her eyes, he found himself in the face of being hunted down. How could he have the leisure to appreciate a beautiful woman? No wonder she and Nailan Rushue were known as the Lil Continent's twin lotus flowers. It really was the case. Seeing Ning Cheng staring at her, Yan Ji's face turned slightly red. If it was someone else, she would have already flared up, but she had a very good impression of Ning Cheng. It was because she knew that she was too beautiful, that was why she wore a veil over her face. This was the first time that Ning Cheng had seen her appearance, so it was normal for him to be a bit stunned. Ning Cheng was indeed stunned for a moment, but in just a short period of time, he was able to recover. He had seen a lot of beauties in this place. Moreover, he had already seen 3 beauties of this level including Yan Ji. As such, he did not forget himself. He stared at Yan Ji but did not speak. It was not because he was shocked by Yan Ji's beauty, but because he was comparing Yan Ji and Nailan Rushue. Ning Cheng quickly realized that he was being somewhat rude, as he quickly spoke up, initially junior apprentice Sister Ji had helped me, so it is only right for me to help you out. Junior apprentice Sister Ji and I will go and change our clothes. Yen, you should also quickly change your clothes. Jia Lingwei had already noticed that Zhang Sunyan's lower abdomen had completely disappeared, exposing her pure white skin, but she was still not aware of it. I know. Zhang Sunyan spoke a few words, but did not know where to go and change her clothes. The part of her lower abdomen that was exposed was originally gray in color, but after Ning Cheng held it in his arms, all the dust was wiped off by Ning Cheng's clothes, turning it white and clean, and was even somewhat conspicuous. Ning Cheng glanced at Jia Lingwei and Yan Ji, who were also not wearing anything to cover their bodies, and said, "You should also go and change your clothes. I will go and see that Cheng Yixiao." On Earth, clothes that did not cover one's body was simply too normal. Some of the young girls in the prime of their youth wore tattered jeans, or deliberately wore a shirt that exposed their lower abdomen. There were simply too many girls who swaggered around with their navel, as such he was simply accustomed to it. Among the peaks of the Blood River Mountains, although Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness could not sweep out further, but the range that he could see was much larger than Yan Ji and the others. At this time he saw that Cheng Yixiao was surrounded by a group of Blood River otters. Moreover, Cheng Yixiao did not go up the Blood River peaks. At the foot of the continuous Blood River peaks, there were also some winding paths. The place where Ning Cheng and the other two people were standing at, was the path at the foot of these peaks. But they did not have any Blood River otters here, as such Cheng Yixiao was blocked by the Blood River otters. Ah, senior apprentice brother Cheng and the others are coming over? Zhang Sunyan called out in alarm, but found that Ning Cheng had already gone far away. What are you so nervous about? When you and Ning Cheng came over a moment ago, why didn't I see you being nervous? Jia Lingwei gave Zhang Sunyan a blank look, while simultaneously arranging a simple shielding array formation. Zhang Sunyan suddenly opened her mouth, but unexpectedly could not find the words to refute. Speaking of which, Ning Cheng was still a person who was regarded as a devil cultivator. After the three people changed their clothes and came out, they did not see Ning Cheng coming back. Hey, why is big brother Ning not here? Zhang Sunyan asked in a puzzled voice. Senior apprentice brother Cheng is coming over. Jia Lingwei suddenly spoke. Sure enough, just as her voice fell, Cheng Yixiao had already appeared in the line of sight of the three people. Yan Ji took out a veil and put it on her face. At this time Cheng Yixiao had already arrived in front of the three people. The three of you obviously came from a different direction. How did you arrive here earlier than us? Cheng Yixiao, on seeing the three of them, asked in a somewhat puzzled manner. Greetings senior apprentice brother Cheng, it is because the three of us took the smaller path. Yan Ji quickly cupped her fists and replied. Zhang Sunyan impatiently asked, Senior apprentice brother Cheng, did you see Ning? Oh, senior apprentice brother Cheng Xiaoning? After she said the word Ning, she saw Jia Lingwei glare at her. She instantly reacted, and quickly changed her words. Cheng Yixiao originally did not know about Ning Cheng. Now hearing Zhang Sunyan ask about Ning Cheng, he quickly spoke up. I saw him. It was elder brother Cheng who told me that you were here. To be honest, elder brother Cheng's mind really makes me feel ashamed. When we escaped alone, when elder brother Cheng saw me, he did not ridicule or scold me, but instead told me that you were also here. Thank the heavens, elder brother Cheng is safe and sound. What about him? Yan Ji quickly asked. Cheng Yixiao's eyes dimmed as he spoke. It seems that he disdained to be associated with us, and left by himself. Before he left, he asked me to help junior apprentice sister Zhang Sunyan. If not for junior apprentice sister Zhang Sunyan leading the way, he would not have been able to find this place. I guess that he should have also gone to look for the Blood River Red Lotus. Saying that, Cheng Yixiao seemed to have thought of another thing, and quickly added, that's right, after we came here together, we all dispersed to look for the Blood River Red Lotus. I found that the Blood River otters here attack in groups. It would be very difficult to find them alone. It would be better for us to form a team. Jia Lingwei's mind was very meticulous. She knew that what Cheng Yixiao said was correct. Previously, they had tried it. if there were a few more people, then while they were restraining the Blood River otters, they could also send people to collect the Blood River Red Lotus. Otherwise, if they dragged on for too long, they would have to wait for the high tide of the Blood River. At that time they would not be able to obtain the Blood River Red Lotus, and would have to work hard in vain. At worst they would lose their lives. Junior apprentice Sister Ji, what do you think? Jia Lingwei looked at Yan Ji. Yan Ji spoke without hesitation, I want to go and see where Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng is. If possible, I want to form a team with Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng. I also want to form a team with Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng. Zhang Sun Yan quickly spoke up, she was afraid that Jia Lingwei would not form a team with Ning Cheng. Jia Lingwei on seeing this, apologetically spoke to Cheng Yixiao, Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng, Senior Apprentice Brother Xiao Ning has already saved us twice, my thoughts are similar to Junior Apprentice Sister Ji's, I want to find Senior Apprentice Brother Xiao Ning to form a team. Cheng Yixiao sighed and spoke, actually, I also want to form a team with Elder Brother Cheng Ah, but he might not be able to bring us along, the key point is that he might be a devil cultivator, I am afraid that it might affect the Wu Nian Academy. Yan Ji sneered and spoke, if a 9-star academy was destroyed because of such a small matter, then the existence of this 9-star academy would not have any meaning. Cheng Yixiao on hearing Yan Ji's words, sighed and spoke, Junior Apprentice Sister Ji's words are reasonable, for an academy to be able to stand tall for such a long time, there is indeed a reason for its existence. But now it is different, now the I Ching mainland's 9 continents academies and the I Ching Ocean are at peace. Not only that, the two sides are also cooperating. If some of the enemies found an excuse for some of the academies, they would even pull in the cultivators from the I Ching Ocean to attack them. If I were not the son of Cheng Yishui, I would rather break away from the Wu Nian Academy and make friends with a hero like Qing Xiaoning. Ning Cheng was in a good mood, he already knew where the Blood River Red Lotus grew. The Blood River Red Lotus grew on the summit of the Blood River Peak, and if one wanted to collect the Blood River Red Lotus, one would have to climb up the Blood River Peak. The suction force above the Blood River was very strong. If one were to fly above the Blood River, they would be sucked into the Blood River if they were not careful. This would be somewhat difficult for the others, but Ning Cheng was not worried about it, his twin heavenly cloud wings would help him solve this problem. If Yan Ji and the others knew that Ning Cheng intended to use his twin heavenly cloud wings to collect the Blood River Red Lotus, they would definitely come out to stop him. Unfortunately, they did not know that Ning Cheng had actually collected the first pair of Blood River Red Lotuses through the twin heavenly cloud wings. The Blood River Red Lotus appeared in pairs, they were incomparably beautiful. The lotus leaves were red like a maple leaf, while the lotus flowers were a rose red, and exuded a faint fragrance. At this time, Ning Cheng was surrounded by a group of Blood River otters at the edge of the Blood River Peak summit. This group was different from the Blood River otters that Yan Ji and Jia Lingwei had encountered before, as the Blood River otters surrounding Ning Cheng had already sprouted a pair of wings, which completely locked Ning Cheng in all directions. Chapter 212. Senior Apprentice Sister Lingwei, why did you also come here? Taking advantage of the gap between Yixiao and Yan Ji, a few more people came over. The one who asked the question was Nalan Rushue, who was walking in the middle. She was accompanied by 4 male cultivators and a female cultivator, all of whom were from the Wu Nian Academy's team. Zhang Sun Yan gave a snort, while Yan Ji did not even bother to say a single word. Only Jia Lingwei smiled and spoke, we are also here to look for the Blood River Red Lotus, what a coincidence. Cheng Yixiao knew that the Lu continent's twin lotus flowers did not have a good relationship with each other, as such he quickly spoke up, you came just in time, the Blood River Red Lotus is something that a person would find very difficult to collect, as such we should form a team. As for the collected Blood River Red Lotus, everyone would distribute it according to their contributions. Now everyone should come with me to that side, I saw that elder brother Cheng is also going there. After saying that, he turned into one of the forks. Seeing Cheng Yixiao taking the lead, the rest of the people followed suit one after another, even Yan Ji also followed suit. Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng, are you talking about that devil cultivator Qing Xiaoning? Nalan Rushua whispered in Cheng Yixiao's ear. Humph, you are a devil cultivator. Zhang Sun Yan finally could not bear it, and spoke out against Nalan Rushua. Blood River Red Lotus. Before Cheng Yixiao could reply, several people simultaneously called out. Both of the Blood River peaks in front of them had Blood River Red Lotuses, and each peak had a pair of Blood River Red Lotuses. These lotuses were incomparably tender and beautiful, which made people want to rush up and dig out the pair of Blood River Red Lotuses. Although the Blood River Red Lotus grew in the Blood River peaks of the Blood River Mountains, but everyone knew that not every Blood River peak had a Blood River Red Lotus. After so many years of collection, the number of Blood River Red Lotuses was decreasing day by day. Although some of the peaks of the Blood River Red Lotuses would grow again after being collected, but it was an incomparably long process. The people here will be divided into 2 teams, 2 of you will follow behind me to block the Blood River Otters, while the rest of you will go to the other Blood River peak. As Cheng Yixiao finished speaking, he immediately took the lead and rushed towards one of the Blood River peaks. The path between the Blood River peak and the Blood River was very narrow, so not many people could go up at once. His team, plus Nalan Rushua's group of 5, already had a total of 6 people. Cheng Yixiao, along with 2 late-stage profound congealing cultivators, rushed up one of the Blood River peaks, while another early-stage profound core cultivator, along with the other 2 people, rushed up the other Blood River peak. It was quite normal for Jia Lingwei and the other 2 to not be able to keep up, as they had not agreed to form a team with Cheng Yixiao. After seeing the Blood River Red Lotus, he couldn't immediately form a party, right? However, Nalan Rushua did not follow them to help collect the Blood River Red Lotuses, which made the Yen Ji trio unable to understand what was going on. Senior apprentice Sister Ji, although I do not care about what you think of me, but the 2 of us are often mentioned by others, moreover we are both from large academies. If Rushua has done something wrong, I apologize to you here. Also, Junior apprentice Sister Yen, I don't know why you also have a problem with me, but I hope that you can explain it clearly so that I can understand what is going on in my heart. After the few of them went to collect the Blood River Red Lotus, Nalan Rushua calmly looked at the Yen Ji trio and spoke. Her tone was flat. It was obvious that she did not really want to apologize, but rather she felt that Yen Ji, as a senior apprentice sister, did not have the demeanor of a senior apprentice sister. The way she spoke and the way she acted were all filled with a trace of childishness. They were the Lu continent's twin lotus flowers on one stalk, and were often talked about by others. Once something happened, perhaps it would spread out that the 2 academies were not on good terms with each other. I have a problem with you. The Wu Nian Academy has such a big reputation, but I am not a member of the Wu Nian Academy, so why must I be nice to you? Zhang Sun Yan was already suppressing her anger. Now that Nalan Rushua had come to her door, how could she let it go? Nalan Rushua was obviously a lot more tolerant than Zhang Sun Yan, as her tone was still very calm. The Wu Nian Academy is a 9-star academy, it is not something that I said. As for the matters of the Wu Nian Academy, it is something that the Academy's elders and the Academy head should worry about, it has nothing to do with a small disciple like me. Besides, I also did not ask you to be nice to me. Although I, Nalan Rushua, am not a great person, but I will not take the initiative to put a warm face on a cold butt. Seeing that Jia Lingwei was about to speak, Zhang Sun Yan spoke up without any trace of politeness. I am not convinced that you borrowed a knife to kill people, and even went to plot against senior apprentice brother Ning Cheng. Senior apprentice brother Ning Cheng risked his life to save you, but not only are you not grateful, but you even plotted against him, and even slandered him. Is this something that you, a person from a 9-star academy, would do? Didn't he just touch your chest? That senior apprentice brother Ning Cheng also touched my chest. Did you see that I did not call out to plot against him? Not to mention me, even if it was senior apprentice sister Ji and elder sister Lingwei's chest, did you see them clamoring to plot against him? Are your breasts worth so much? Are they not made of flesh? Are they made of best quality spirit stones? Ah! Nalan Rushua stared at Zhang Sun Yan in shock, although Zhang Sun Yan was very young, but the way she spoke could not be so irresponsible. Moreover, the way she spoke was completely different from when she had first met Zhang Sunyan. Seeing Jia Lingwei looking at her speechlessly, Zhang Sunyan knew that she had slipped up, and had even mentioned Ning Qing out. Fortunately, this Nailan Rushue did not necessarily know that Qing Xiaoning was Ning Qing. Originally this matter was already over, but now that Zhang Sunyan mentioned it again, Yan Ji's face suddenly turned red. Jia Lingwei suddenly broke this extremely awkward atmosphere and spoke, "Junior apprentice Sister Rushue, that Ning Qing, you really misunderstood him. You should have been saved by him. Yan is just a straightforward person, I hope you don't mind her." She was very depressed in her heart. How long had Zhang Sunyan followed Yan Ji? Her words were just too outspoken. What? Nailan Rushue was surprised as she spoke those two words, but she did not have time to speak more, when Yan Ji suddenly rushed towards a blood river peak in the distance. "It's Big Brother Cheng." Zhang Sunyan cried out in alarm. She hastily brought out her magical weapon to rush over. Ning Qing was surrounded by an inexhaustible number of blood river otters, and in desperation, he could only bring out his true cosmic devil axe. As soon as the true cosmic devil axe's axe line was brought out, it immediately aroused the demonic aura that filled the sky. Originally there were countless blood river peaks here, and each of the blood river peaks had a blood river surging over them, giving off a sound that shook the heavens. Wanting to discover that Ning Qing was fighting with the blood river otters on top of an inconspicuous blood river peak, was something that was very difficult to do. Now that Ning Qing brought out his true cosmic devil axe, even if he did not want to be discovered, it would be very difficult. Jia Lingwei grabbed Zhang Sunyan and spoke, Yan, are you crazy? You are only at the early stages of profound congealing realm, do you want to court death by going up? I will go over, you and Rushue can wait for us here. Zhang Sunyan immediately sobered up, her cultivation was simply too low, even if she went up she would not be able to help. But she immediately thought that Jia Lingwei's true essence had long since dried up, and quickly spoke up, Senior apprentice Sister Lingwei, you also cannot go up, your true essence has already dried up, and has not yet fully recovered. There is no need to go up. Jia Lingwei stared blankly at the distant blood river peak surging with water. She knew that the blood river peak was already at high tide. If she went up now, it would definitely be too late. Senior apprentice Sister Ji. Zhang Sunyan cried out in alarm. They found that Yan Ji who had rushed out before had already disappeared. When Ning Qing was forced to bring out his true cosmic devil axe, he knew that he had to retreat. The surrounding aura of the blood river was surging, it should be the high tide soon. Ning Qing was ready to wait for the blood river's tide to pass, then it would not be too late to start. The axe line's berserk killing intent swept out. Even if those blood river otters were able to fly, under this kind of berserk killing intent, they simply did not have the ability to resist, and were instantly killed by the axe line. After Ning Qing chopped out with his axe, he simultaneously retreated. He knew that if he continued to go up when the tide was at high tide, even if he had the twin heavenly cloud wings, it would only be courting death. With a flap of the twin heavenly cloud wings, Ning Qing glided over the top of the blood river. A powerful suction force came from the bottom of the blood river. It seemed as if it wanted to suck Ning Qing into the blood river. Ning Qing was not worried, he just increased the frequency of his twin heavenly cloud wings. He already knew that flying over the blood river would produce a powerful suction force, but he only needed to increase the frequency of his twin heavenly cloud wings. But this time the suction force was like a broken dam as it rushed towards Ning Qing's body. Ning Qing's heart immediately sank. He knew that his understanding of the Blood River Mountains was not correct. This suction force was more than 100 times stronger than before, not to mention that he crazily fanned the twin heavenly cloud wings. Even if he desperately fanned the twin heavenly cloud wings, he would not be able to block this kind of terrifying suction force. Boom! A huge wave of the blood river rushed over. This wave directly swept away Ning Qing who was being sucked down by the blood river. Yan Ji at this time had just rushed to a place close to Ning Qing. She knew that the blood river's tide had begun to rise. At that moment she saw Ning Qing being swept away by a huge wave of the blood river. Not waiting for her to panic, the next wave had already rushed towards her position. Chapter 213. Ning Cheng had already heard that the water of the Blood River was extremely corrosive. Now that he had nowhere to escape, his first reaction was to enter the mysterious yellow bead. But at the moment when the waves came crashing down, Ning Cheng did not enter the mysterious yellow bead, rather he used his true essence to prop up a shield. Once the true essence shield could not withstand the blood waves, he would then enter the mysterious yellow bead. This Blood River Mountains had many disciples from the major academies. Once the mysterious yellow aura was exposed, he would definitely be guessed. Although he was a devil cultivator, but his reputation was not good. In the absence of benefits, he would not take the initiative to attract the attention of some powerhouses. But if he exposed the mysterious yellow bead or the mysterious yellow origin aura, then even if he escaped to the ends of the earth, there would still be people chasing after him. More importantly, he did not know if he could enter the mysterious yellow bead, but the true essence shield would definitely be able to support it. What made Ning Cheng feel relieved was that the water of the Blood River did not seem to be much different from ordinary river water. Besides the fishy smell, everything else was the same. He was able to support a true essence shield in the water when he was at the early stage essence building realm, but now his cultivation was more than 100 times stronger than before. Even if the true essence shield was impacted by the blood waves, it would not have much effect on it. Feeling the blood-red waves flowing outside, Ning Cheng's mind was actually thinking about something completely unrelated to the outside world. Being washed into the blood river did not seem to be a great thing, even if the blood river was very corrosive, but if the true essence shield could block the blood river, then what kind of threat would it pose to the cultivators entering the law's way? Why did Zhang Sun Yan make it sound so terrible? She said that once he was swept away by the blood river, then even his bones would not be left behind. Even if he was swept away by the blood river, wouldn't his bones not be left behind? Something that could be blocked by just a true essence shield. Ning Cheng believed that the cultivators who fell into the blood river would also be able to do the same. Under the tumbling of the blood river, Ning Cheng could only feel himself being dragged down. Once he resisted, and tried to force his way up, then there was a possibility that the shield would be torn apart. But if he continued to tumble down, then the force on the shield would be small, and would not break. Ning Cheng was a bit depressed in his heart. If he had known earlier, then he would have asked about it clearly. The suction of the whirlpool in the blood river was also divided into strong and weak, so he was not able to collect a pair of blood river red lotuses, but he was brought to the bottom of the blood river. Not knowing for how long, Ning Cheng felt as if his surroundings had become empty, as his feet finally touched the ground. The suction force and the waves of the blood river had completely disappeared, and there was only black sand under his feet. The small ones were the size of peas, while the big ones were the size of fists. What surprised Ning Cheng was that this place was incomparably empty. Even his spiritual consciousness could not find the edge of this place. Moreover, what was even more frightening was that there was no spiritual chi in this place at all. It was not that the spirit chi was thin, but that there was no spirit chi at all. It was even worse than the cultivation environment on Earth. The light in the surroundings was also dark red, as if it was reflected by the color of the blood river. It seemed lifeless. Ning Cheng carefully took a few steps forward, and found some bones under his feet, along with some fragments of magical weapons. Ning Cheng's heart suddenly sank. He had already imagined such a scene in his mind. Falling into the blood river was actually the same as being teleported here. However, there was no spirit chi here, no living beings, no way out, not even sound. In a place like this, there was no other way but to die. Even if he didn't die, he would go crazy. No wonder Zhang Sun Yan said that the corrosive nature of the blood river was very strong. Perhaps all the people who fell into the blood river would be transferred here, and then in this place where there was no spiritual chi and no way out, they would slowly wait for their death. Not even a single person would be able to come out. Ning Cheng looked up at the sky. It was still covered in a dark red color. He simply could not know what was behind the dark red color. A feeling of being unable to breathe made Ning Cheng feel depressed and irritated. He had to get out of here. Otherwise, he would rather die in this place. Ah! Zhang Sun Yan stared blankly at the blood river that was still rolling in the distance as she screamed out in alarm. It was only after a good while that she muttered, "Big brother Ning is gone. Elder sister Ji is also gone." The relationship between Nalan Rushue and Yan Ji was just ordinary, so when Yan Ji disappeared in the middle of the blood river, she did not have the same kind of sadness that Zhang Sun Yan had. Rather, she asked in a puzzled manner, "Big brother Ning? Is it Qing Xiaoning?" She saw that Yan Ji was going to save someone, so she asked about it, but after she asked, she felt that something was wrong. Sure enough, Jia Lingwei sighed and said, "Qing Xiaoning is Ning Cheng, he is the person who saved you." What? Nalan Rushue exclaimed, and then immediately spoke, "How is this possible?" Ning Cheng at that time only had the cultivation of essence-building realm, but Qing Xiaoning, he could already. Nalan Rushue did not continue, as she thought of the connection between Ning Cheng and Qing Xiaoning. Before, if she did not know that Qing Xiaoning was Ning Cheng, then she would not have thought anything about it, but now that she heard that Qing Xiaoning was Ning Cheng, she immediately became aware of the many similarities between them. If Qing Xiaoning was really Ning Cheng, then when he said that he had saved her from the hands of two profound congealing cultivators, it would not be strange at all. Thinking that Qing Xiaoning was able to deal with dozens of profound core cultivators by himself, and was still able to escape unscathed, even if his cultivation was only at the essence-building realm, how could he be afraid of two puny profound congealing cultivators? Thinking of the extremely flat tone that Ning Cheng had used to explain himself, Nalan Rushue did not dare to believe that it was true, as she subconsciously spoke up, "If he was really wronged, then he should have desperately tried to explain himself to me. Why was his tone so flat? Moreover, did he not even care if I believed him or not?" Zhang Sun Yan's eyes were a bit red, and even more ruthlessly spoke, "Big brother Ning simply does not care about your gratitude. Do you think that he was trying to coerce you into repaying your kindness? You are looking at the wrong person. Do you think that you are very beautiful? Elder sister Ji is much more beautiful than you. If Big brother Ning wanted to like someone, then he would definitely like elder sister Ji." Jia Lingwei waved her hand at Zhang Sun Yan and spoke, Yan, don't speak like that." Rushue did not mean it. At that time it was normal for her to be misunderstood. "Rushue, can you explain the situation at that time? Let me see what exactly was going on." At this time Nalan Rushue's mind was bursting with bursts of explosions. If Ning Cheng was really the person who had saved her, then as Ning Cheng had said, to say that she was ungrateful was simply too light. The truth behind this was something that only she understood. Ning Cheng had said that because she was ungrateful, he had wasted a life-saving magical weapon. Now that she thought about it, Ning Cheng's life-saving magical weapon was definitely that escape talisman. Thinking about it a moment ago, if Ning Cheng had this kind of talisman, then would he have been swept away by that blood wave? Nalan Rushue no longer had that kind of calmness and self-confidence from before, as she spoke in a somewhat bewildered manner. "At that time there was an accident in the Angry Axe Valley. I was sent out from the Angry Axe Valley, but just as I landed, I was attacked by someone and fainted. Even as to who attacked me, I did not see it. I guess it should have been done by an acquaintance of mine from the Angry Axe Valley. Later when I woke up, I saw Ning Cheng pressing his hand on my chest. Nalan Rushue did not need to say anything. Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sun Yan already knew about it. Originally she had always regarded Ning Cheng as a pervert. Nalan Rushue had never thought of any other reason. But now that she started to doubt it, she suddenly felt that there were a lot of doubts in this matter. Jia Lingwei sighed and said, "I know about the matter in the Angry Axe Valley. After the accident, the location of the transmission was very messy. What I want to ask you is, when you woke up, how long had it been since you came out of the Angry Axe Valley?" "It seems like a few days." Nalan Rushue's face turned pale. Jia Lingwei did not speak again, but Nalan Rushue already understood. If Ning Cheng really wanted to do something to her, then how could he wait until she woke up? During the few days that she was unconscious, even if he did it 100 times, it would not have been enough. But the fact was that she was safe and sound, her body was not violated at all. Senior apprentice Sister Lingwei. Nalan Rushue's words were a bit dry. She suddenly felt that she was very shameless. She could imagine, when Ning Cheng was speaking to her, in his heart, he despised her as a woman. Fortunately, Master Shu did not kill Ning Cheng, but thinking that Ning Cheng had used up the escape talisman, which led to him being swallowed up by the blood river, it showed that Ning Cheng had also died in her hands. Jia Lingwei patted Nalan Rushue's arm and spoke, "Junior apprentice Sister Rushue, Ning Cheng is in trouble, you owe him, as such there is no use in feeling guilty about it. Ning Cheng had initially rescued you from the hands of those two profound congealing cultivators. If you know about them, then go and see if those two profound congealing cultivators were killed by Ning Cheng. If not, then you can help him kill them in the future. Moreover, there is also the matter that Ning Cheng has not completed. In the future you can help him with it, and make up for your unintentional mistakes. In fact, it is not only you, don't you also owe Ning Cheng? I only know that one of them is called Sikong Kai." Nalan Rushue's mind went blank as she spoke. She suddenly did not know what she should do next. "Sikong Kai. I know this person." Cheng Yixiao's hearty voice arrived. He was in a good mood, as he had already collected a pair of Blood River red lotuses. "Hey, junior apprentice Sister Zhang Sun Yan, what's wrong with you? Where's junior apprentice Sister Ji?" Cheng Yixiao soon felt that the atmosphere was not right. Zhang Sun Yan's eyes were red, but Yan Ji had already disappeared. Jia Lingwei spoke with a sad tone, "Junior apprentice Sister Ji has been swept away by the blood river." Cheng Yixiao's mouth opened wide, and only after a good while did he speak to himself, "What the hell is going on?" Jia Lingwei had no choice but to speak about the matter of Yan Ji going to save Ning Cheng. Hearing that Ning Cheng and Yan Ji had been swept away by the blood river, Cheng Yixiao gave a long sigh, as he gave a deep bow towards the blood river peak where Ning Cheng had been swept away and spoke, "Elder brother Cheng, whether or not you are a devil cultivator, you are the role model for this Cheng Yixiao to follow, please accept this Cheng Yixiao's bow." Seeing Cheng Yixiao bow, the two cultivators behind Cheng Yixiao also cupped their fists and bowed in respect. Their lives were saved by Ning Cheng. Now that Ning Cheng had fallen, it was only right and proper for them to pay their respects to Ning Cheng. Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sun Yan, the two of them also bowed towards the Blood River Peak where Ning Cheng was located. Only Nalan Rushue was completely at a loss. Jia Lingwei on seeing this gave out a dark sigh in her heart. She knew that Nalan Rushue would not be able to solve this knot in her heart, and would only be able to reach the profound congealing realm in the future. Seeing the other three people in the distance also collecting the Blood River red lotuses, Jia Lingwei was just about to propose to leave, when she suddenly heard Nalan Rushue ask, "Senior apprentice brother Cheng, I would like to ask, how did you know Sikong Kai?" "Who is this Sikong Kai?" Cheng Yixiao pondered for a moment before replying, "I met Sikong Kai at an auction. At that time he was together with his Dao companion. His Dao companion was Hang Jiaojiao, who was on the same airship as us. At that time I was still at the intermediate stage profound congealing realm. As for his origins, I am not clear." Hearing that Hang Jiaojiao was Sikong Kai's Dao companion, Nalan Rushue was completely stunned, as she came to a complete understanding. Chapter 214. Ning Cheng once again wandered around for 7 or 8 days. He once again met 5 or 6 similar cultivators. All of them were emaciated, but all of them were in the same state, studying array formations. Just when Ning Cheng felt that it was strange, his spiritual consciousness unexpectedly swept towards a cultivator. Just like him, a cultivator walking through the black sand. Looking at the actions of that cultivator, Ning Cheng was sure that the other party's attainments in array formations should be higher than his own. At least that cultivator already knew that this place was an array formation. If he wanted to get out of this place, then he must first figure out this array formation. However, Ning Cheng's heart quickly turned cold. This person was dressed in rags, looking even more sloppy than the most sloppy beggar on the street. Not only that, but his body was as thin as a bamboo pole. If Ning Cheng had not seen a storage ring in his hand, he would have really suspected that this person was not a cultivator. The current Ning Cheng was exactly the same as the cultivator he had seen a moment ago, walking while gesticulating, while at the same time muttering a few words. Ning Cheng's idea was good, but he forgot that a lot of people who took drugs had the same idea. They all thought that they were stronger than others, and could free themselves at any time. In fact, they all overestimated themselves. It was as if he had not heard Ning Cheng's question at all. While walking barefoot, he kept muttering. Ning Cheng had already been walking in this empty and silent black sand for 2 hours, but under his feet, other than bones and the wreckage of magical weapons, there was nothing else. Within the range of his spiritual consciousness, Ning Cheng simply took out a chair and sat down. In this way, Ning Cheng continued to deduce one array formation after another, as the number of array formations in his mind grew more and more, and the array formations also grew bigger and bigger. These array formations seemed to have been drawn out in his consciousness, one after another, as they went on and on. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness was constantly searching for information from the surroundings, while at the same time constantly deducing and simulating one new array formation after another. Ning Cheng randomly thought about it. Maybe one day, he would also become one of the bones here, and then someone would take out a chair and sit on top of his bones. One by one, the array formations began to link up in Ning Cheng's mind, causing this vast and empty land of sand to gradually form a miniature within Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness. Even if Ning Cheng explained it to her, would she believe it? In fact, Ning Cheng's explanation in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy was already very clear. As such, she had never believed a single word spoken by Ning Cheng. If Ning Cheng had stood at the entrance of the canyon and said that he wanted to completely uproot the blue stone doors, and kill all the profound core cultivators blocking his way, would she have believed it? Junior apprentice Sister Rushua, are you all right? Cheng Yixiao saw that Nalan Rushua's complexion seemed to be a bit strange, as he quickly asked. However, when he had completely deduced this confinement array, he realized that in order to open this confinement array, he had to first unlock another concealment array. Ning Cheng soon discovered that as long as he flew higher than a certain height, he would immediately be suppressed. And no matter how long he flew, the environment was the same deathly stillness. After flying for 10 days, Ning Cheng finally put away the flight-type magical weapon. He felt that something was not right. Even if this place was huge, even if he flew continuously for 10 days, it would still be impossible for it to be endless. Ning Cheng was ecstatic, as he immediately stimulated the twin heavenly cloud wings and rushed forward. Under the boundless sands, there was nothing but emptiness all around. He was sitting in the middle of the sands. If he were to draw a picture, would it also become a work of art? Senior apprentice Brother Cheng, I want to ask you a favor. Nalan Rushua suddenly spoke to Cheng Yixiao in a solemn voice. Cheng Yixiao did not understand what Nalan Rushua meant, but he was a forthright person, not to mention a junior apprentice sister from the same academy. Even if an ordinary person asked him to do something, he would also help them. Junior apprentice Sister Rushua, please speak freely. We are all disciples of the Wu Nian Academy. What is there to ask? If I can help you, then I will definitely help you. Big Brother Ning said that sometimes what you see with your own eyes is not necessarily the truth. I never understood this truth before. It was only after Big Brother Ning told me that I came to know. Sure enough, what you see with your own eyes is not necessarily the truth. She had personally seen Ning Cheng telling Hang Jiaojiao to fuck off, causing her to feel disgusted in her heart. As such, she took the initiative to help Hang Jiaojiao. But the fact was, Ning Cheng knew that Hang Jiaojiao was a nefarious cultivator. As such, he was helping her. Nalan Rushua immediately gave a start. As she sobered up, what was she thinking? Was this the time to compare himself with Yan Ji? Immediately Ning Cheng shook his head. Perhaps he had not reached the end of his lifespan, and had already gone crazy. Looking at this person gradually walking away while talking to himself, he did not continue to follow this person. He knew that this person had been studying array formations for a long time, and had already turned crazy. What was different from the other cultivators who were trying to deduce array formations, was that the eyes of other people who were trying to deduce array formations were getting dimmer, and finally even turned turbid. But his eyes were getting brighter and brighter. Moreover, from the first month since he came here, he had been constantly throwing out array flags. Without array flags, he could casually refine one out. No wonder Ning Cheng, who had disguised himself as Qing Xiaoning, had called out to Hang Jiaojiao to get lost. She could easily guess that Ning Cheng had saved her from the hands of Si Kong Kai and Hang Jiaojiao. Ning Cheng did not know what he should do at this moment, not to mention that he was not in the mood to cultivate. Even if he was in the mood to cultivate, he would not dare to cultivate. He was a cultivator, and there was no spiritual qi in this place. Once his spirit stones ran out, what would he do? Fortunately, the mysterious yellow bead was a good fortune object, and the mysterious yellow origin was an origin aura. Even if Ning Cheng used up his brain, as long as he was not a lamp without oil, the mysterious yellow origin would be able to barely help him support himself. In terms of deduction ability and computing ability alone, it could be said that no one in the entire Yixing mainland could compare to Ning Cheng. At this moment, his brain was like a top-notch computer running at high speed. The various positions of the confinement array formation, as well as the positions of the various formations, were quickly figured out by him. Moreover, in that cabin hall, not only did she not help her savior Ning Cheng, but instead helped Hang Jiaojiao. If she behaved like this, then it could be estimated that in Ning Cheng's eyes, she would not even be a scum. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years passed by. The ability to calculate and the ability to remember were the two main elements of array formations, and he just happened to have both of them. What's more, he also had the mysterious yellow origin. Presumably, with the help of the mysterious yellow origin, he would not fall into a state of mental confusion, right? Senior apprentice Sister Rushua, I used to hear others say bad things about Big Brother Ning, and misunderstood him. But after being together with him, I came to understand that he really is not the kind of person that others said. Please believe in Big Brother Ning. At that time, maybe it was because of some other reason that made you misunderstand Big Brother Ning. After hesitating again and again, Ning Cheng decided to start deducing this array formation. He added a restriction to himself. Once he fell into it, he had to quickly stop deducing, and wait until his mind was clear, then he would continue deducing. There might be some cultivators here who had a higher level of array formation than him, but Ning Cheng believed in his deduction ability. He believed that as long as he had enough time, his level of array formations would definitely rise. Ning Cheng walked a little closer, and finally heard what the cultivator was saying. The encirclement occasional wind, the shape is sharp, the first benefit is the guest, the color is dark red, it is the sun. Ring cloud array, the clouds are attached to the sky, the red is the vibration. At this time, Ning Cheng had also turned into a disheveled-haired, ragged cultivator, but he was still deducing the array formation. During this period, he would pass by some cultivators, but no one cared about him, and he also did not care about others. She once again remembered the words that Yuing had said to her. But if he did not find the exit of this array formation, then he would have to stay in this place forever. Ning Cheng was a grade 3 array formation master. As such, when he heard those words, he immediately understood that this person was studying array formations. In the past few years, only Grey Toot Toot had been loyally following behind Ning Cheng. Even if Ning Cheng gave him a lot of pills, Grey Toot Toot had no choice but to eat them sparingly. In this place, if there were no pills, then it would directly starve to death. Perhaps he could continue to practice alchemy, but even if he continued to practice alchemy, it would not be of any use. If he finished refining the spiritual grasses, then what would he do? Besides, if he could not go out, then what was the use of practicing alchemy? Go into seclusion. He only had 5 million spirit stones on him. These spirit stones for him would soon be used up. Senior apprentice Sister Rushua, you must have misunderstood Big Brother Ning. Big Brother Ning is not that kind of person. I and Big Brother Ning have lived in the same house for a year, as such I am the clearest about what kind of person he is. If he was that kind of person, then I would have already been. This friend, may I ask if you were also sucked into the blood river maelstrom? Ning Cheng had not yet arrived in front of this cultivator, when he immediately called out in an excited voice. I had previously fallen into the hands of Hang Jiaojiao and Si Kong Kai, and was almost destroyed. That Hang Jiaojiao also came to the law's way. I would like to ask Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng to come across Hang Jiaojiao. If you can restrain her, then let me ask her a few questions. Nalan Rushua bowed and requested. Ning Cheng was in such a situation. As soon as he entered the state of deducing the array formation, his consciousness immediately manifested a confinement array formation. When this array formation appeared in Ning Cheng's consciousness, it gave Ning Cheng a kind of feeling, that is, as long as he could deduce this array formation, then he would be able to get out. 3 months passed by. At the same time, he also came to understand his current position. He was definitely in the middle of an array formation. This array formation might be a natural array formation. If one day he could figure out this array formation, then he might be able to get out. If he was unable to figure out this array formation, then he would be just as pitiful as that person who had just passed by. Cheng Yixiao raised his eyebrows. As he spoke in an angry voice, this person actually dared to lay her hands on my Wunyan Academy's disciple, even if junior apprentice sister Ruxiue did not say anything. If I knew about this matter, then I would never let her off. She did not believe the words spoken by Ning Cheng, but why did Yan Ji believe it? Moreover, she even took the initiative to stand up and help. Was the disparity between her and Yan Ji really so far? Maybe I can stay here for another 200 or 300 years. Ning Cheng muttered to himself. The maximum lifespan of a profound congealing cultivator could be up to 400 years old. 1 month passed by. If not for the mysterious yellow origin aura supporting Ning Cheng's sea of consciousness, then even if Ning Cheng's ability to deduce things was countless times more powerful than others, he would not have been able to escape the fate of getting lost. The only difference was that Ning Cheng was really still deducing the array formation. He had not lost his sanity. He was not like that cultivator from before, who was only subconsciously doing it. Even if he did it for a lifetime, he would not be able to wake up. Moreover, he would also not be able to figure out the real exit of this array formation. Ning Cheng did not continue to look around. He even suspected that there was something strange about the array formation in this place. Once he fell into it, then he would not be able to extricate himself. Ning Cheng sat alone for most of the day. Before he put away the chair, he decided to first figure out whether this place was truly endless or not. Chapter 2:15. Yan Ji was sitting at the edge of a small lake in a daze. This small lake was the only place with water in this endless black sand. Moreover, it was a pool of stagnant water. Because this lake was artificially created, the water in the lake was also condensed out by everyone using a magical technique. This was the only place where people lived in this black sand. Moreover, there were at least 30 cultivators living here. Every few years, a few of them would fall, but there would always be new cultivators coming in. A place without spiritual qi, without any vitality was enough to make people go crazy. If there was no sound, then no one would be able to live in a normal state for hundreds of years. Some of the cultivators who fell into the blood river gathered together, and established a gathering place. In this place, it was not to resist other monstrous beasts and the like, rather everyone lived together, and talked to each other. At least they could have a spiritual sustenance. All the cultivators who lived in this area were relatively rational, and knew that if they relied on themselves to deduce the array formations, then they would not be able to deduce anything. Therefore, they chose to live in this place for the rest of their lives, and muddle along. At least compared to falling into madness, it was much better. Yan Ji's luck was good. She and Ning Cheng had used the same method to enter this place. What was more fortunate for her, was that in less than half a year, she found this place. Moreover, there was also a senior apprentice sister from the Blue Cloud Academy here. This allowed her to quickly integrate into this small circle, and became one of the rational people in this black sand. Junior apprentice sister Ji, falling into the blood river and finding this place, you are already very lucky. Don't think too much about it. Maybe one day a genius will fall here, and open the array formations here, then we can all go out. You are already at the great circle of the profound congealing realm. First think of a way to advance to the profound core realm, and then slowly wait here. If our lifespan comes to an end, and we still can't go out, then it is also our fate. A woman wearing a gray robe walked to the side of Yan Ji and sat down, as she slowly persuaded her. She was the senior apprentice sister Xiang Jilan that Yan Ji had met here. Since she fell here 100 years ago, her cultivation had not risen. At that time she was at the profound core second level, and now she was still at the profound core second level. Senior apprentice Sister Lan, when you fell here, did you regret collecting the Blood River Red Lotus? Yan Ji suddenly asked. Xiang Zhilan pushed her long hair back a little, as she looked at the pool of stagnant water in front of her, and spoke in a leisurely manner. It would be impossible to say that I do not regret it. Every time I gather the Blood River Red Lotus, there are always a lot of cultivators who fall into this pool. No one knew when the Blood River tide would rise. Moreover, once one was sucked into the Blood River whirlpool, it would be very difficult to escape. I think all the cultivators who could enter this place are considered lucky. At the very least, they won't be corroded by the Blood River. Xiang Zhilan had a gentle temperament, although she had been trapped in this place for more than 100 years, but she was not anxious at all, as such her appearance did not look old at all. As she spoke till here, she gave a faint smile and spoke, Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, for you to ask me this question, is it because you regret collecting the Blood River Red Lotus? Yan Ji shook her head and spoke, I did not fall down because I wanted to collect the Blood River Red Lotus. I came down because I wanted to save someone, but in the end I did not manage to save that person, and ended up in this place. Also a disciple of our Blue Cloud Academy? Xiang Zhilan immediately reacted that the person that Yan Ji had saved should be someone from the Blue Cloud Academy, otherwise she would not have taken such a big risk to save that person. No, he and I are not very familiar with each other, but... Yan Ji really could not find the right words to describe her relationship with Ning Cheng. Xiang Zhilan looked at Yan Ji in a puzzled manner for a good while before she spoke, Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, you are not very familiar with this person, yet you came up to the Blood River Mountains to save him? Alas, I really do not know what to say to you. Senior Apprentice Sister Lan, it is really difficult for me to explain to you what is going on. If I have not guessed wrong, after he fell down, he certainly would not have been swept away by the Blood River. There is a 90% chance that he would be in this place, so... Yan Ji had not even finished her words, when Xiang Zhilan asked in a surprised voice, Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, you are not going to say that you want to look for this person, are you? Yan Ji nodded and spoke, I am going to look for him. Are you crazy? Xiang Zhilan had such a calm temperament, but even she was somewhat speechless as she spoke, you fell down here because of the other party, it is already a great kindness to him. Do you still want to look for him? Looking for a person that you are not familiar with? Do you know that this place is boundless, even if you walked for a lifetime, you would not be able to reach the end? You should have seen some crazy people researching array formations, some of them have been researching for hundreds of years, but they are still like this. Yan Ji gave a faint smile, Senior Apprentice Sister Lan, you know that my temperament is different from yours, if I were to stay here and wait for my death, I would really go crazy. What kind of person is he? Xiang Zhilan saw Yan Ji's determination, and somewhat helplessly asked. Yan Ji thought for a while before she spoke, it is very difficult for me to think of what kind of person he is, I think that in the Yixing mainland, there are certainly not many people like him. He has saved a lot of people, but there are not many people who are grateful to him. Some people even say that he is a devil cultivator, and disdain to associate with him. He has also saved me, but the reason why I admire him, is not because he saved me, I have not even seen what he looks like. You said that he is a devil cultivator? Xiang Zhilan asked in a surprised voice. Yan Ji nodded and spoke, others say that he is a devil cultivator, but I think that he should not be a devil cultivator. Even if he is a devil cultivator, a person like him is worthy of me saving. Xiang Zhilan thought that since they could not get out of this place, it would be meaningless to talk about Yan Ji again, she sighed and spoke, that should be a male cultivator, right? Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, for you to treat a male cultivator like this, is it because you like that male cultivator? Yan Ji was silent for a long time, before she shook her head and spoke, no, he had changed his appearance, I have not even seen what he looks like, so there is no reason for me to like him. Besides, I have never thought of liking a person, I still want to be alone and be free. I just admire him. Of course, if I can find him here, and live with him for a few hundred years, I think I would not be too lonely. Xiang Zhilan did not speak again. She understood the meaning of Yan Ji's words. Falling to the bottom of the blood river, that kind of torment and unbearable suffering was not something that ordinary people could bear. Even for a quiet and peaceful person like her, she had found herself a temporary Tao companion. But her Tao companion had only accompanied her for a few decades, before he suddenly disappeared. She believed that after a long time, Yan Ji would also be like her, looking for a male cultivator to live with. Originally, she wanted to help Yan Ji introduce another cultivator here, but that cultivator was obviously good to Yan Ji. Moreover, he was also the first person here. There was no one else here whose cultivation could rise, except for him. Not only could he level up in this place, but he could also level up very quickly. When he had first come here, he was only at the Profound Core 1st level, but now he was already at the Profound Core 9th level. Xiang Zhilan also did not think that Yan Ji would want to leave this place. Yan Ji stood up, and spoke with a smile. Senior apprentice Sister Lan, I'm leaving. After saying that, Yan Ji seemed to have thought of something. She pulled off her veil and spoke, Senior apprentice Sister Lan, if I do not come back, and you have the opportunity to go out in the future, please tell the Yan clan, that I have fallen in the blood river. Xiang Zhilan stared blankly at Yan Ji's appearance, and only muttered after a good while, Junior apprentice Sister Ji, you are unexpectedly so beautiful. I have never seen a woman more beautiful than you. Junior apprentice Sister Lan, Junior apprentice Sister Ji, you are all here. My spiritual grass garden has cultivated some new spiritual fruits. I would like to invite all of you to come and have a taste. Along with the voice, a man with a medium stature strode over. This man and the somewhat pale face of Xiang Zhilan were different. His complexion was rosy, and his tone was filled with a strong self-confidence. It was as if he did not have even half a shred of being confined at the bottom of the blood river. Greetings, Senior Apprentice Brother Yushan. Xiang Zhilan and Yan Ji quickly bowed in salute. This person was called Feng Yushan, and was the male cultivator that Xiang Zhilan wanted to matchmake with Yan Ji. Feng Yushan was also one of the people in their group, and was the strongest, or at least one of the leaders. However, Feng Yushan had a good personality, and rarely used his power to oppress people. Moreover, he was especially good to her. Junior apprentice Sister Ji, you. Feng Yushan was even more stunned as he stared at Yan Ji's face. He had never seen such a beautiful woman. Previously, when he saw Yan Ji's perfect figure wrapped in clothes, he knew that Yan Ji would definitely not be ugly, but he had never thought that Yan Ji would unexpectedly be beautiful to such an extent. At this moment, he already knew that the person he liked had finally appeared. Yan Ji was his best Tao companion. No one would be able to snatch Yan Ji away from his side. Senior apprentice Brother Yushan, Senior apprentice Sister Lan, I'll be taking my leave. I hope to see you again. Yan Ji quickly bowed once again, and turned around to leave. You can't go. Feng Yushan almost blurted out. But Yan Ji did not hear Feng Yushan's words at all, as she stared blankly at a distant figure in ragged clothes, with messy hair, who was slowly moving forward unsteadily. Suddenly the tip of her nose turned sour. Chapter 216. Over the past few years, Yan Ji had seen a lot of similar people, but when she saw this figure, she couldn't help but feel sour in her heart. Perhaps it was because she knew that this person in front of her was Ning Cheng. Behind this ragged and staggering cultivator was a puppy who was just as sluggish as him. The puppy's body was dirty, and its fur was very dry. Furthermore, the color of its fur couldn't be seen clearly. It couldn't even walk properly, but it continued to follow the people walking in front of it. What a loyal pet beast. Xiang Zhilan also apparently saw a person and a dog, as she spoke with a sigh. Sigh, this man is quite wealthy. Even his pet beast has a storage ring. It's just that there are just too many of these kinds of people in this place. The only way is. Feng Yushan had not yet finished his words, when he found that Yan Ji had already rushed out. Only then did Xiang Zhilan discover that Yan Ji's eyes were a little strange. She immediately came to understand, this man who was walking unsteadily was the cultivator that Yan Ji had wanted to save, but was not able to save. Feng Yushan could also see that Yan Ji had some kind of relationship with this tottering cultivator in front of him. As such, he quickly called out from behind, "Junior apprentice Sister Ji, you must not touch him." Yan Ji's footsteps paused, as she eagerly turned around and asked, "Why?" Feng Yushan was increasingly convinced that his guess was correct. He hurriedly said, "This person should be completely trapped in the grand array we are in. Perhaps he is still subconsciously deducing the array. If you touch him now, there is only one possibility. Make him completely lose himself and never wake up again. What should we do?" Yan Ji suddenly panicked. Xiang Zhilan walked up and asked in a soft voice, "Junior apprentice Sister Ji, is this cultivator the person you were talking about? Is he in disguise?" Yan Ji looked at Ning Cheng, who was still walking, and forced herself to calm down, nodded and spoke, "Yes, Senior apprentice Sister Lan, he is that person." "Senior sister, do you have any ideas? If we let him continue like this, he'll eventually reach the point where he'll run out of fuel." Xiang Zhilan was silent for a good while, before she spoke up, "I have also seen this kind of situation before. There are people who forcibly take away people they are familiar with, but the result was that the other party would fall into a lost state, and would never be able to wake up. Senior brother Yushan was right. I have an idea." "Senior apprentice Sister Lan, quickly say it." Xiang Zhilan could not wait to ask. "Set up a trapping array in front of him and let him automatically enter this trapping array. Then, he would sense the trap array and begin to break it. Once he broke through this trap array, he would think that he had broken through the array." But Yan Ji's eyes immediately lit up. Ning Cheng was able to bypass Senior apprentice Sister Lan's entrapment array. It showed that he was not the same as the others, and was not the kind of muddle-headed person. She quickly spoke up, "Senior apprentice Sister Lan, I know what to do. I will constantly arrange some entrapment arrays in front of him. One day he will definitely fall into the entrapment array." Although Yan Ji's words were like that, but her meaning was absolutely not like that. What she was thinking was that since Ning Cheng was able to bypass the entrapment array, it showed that Ning Cheng still had his own thoughts. She kept arranging entrapment formations, while Ning Cheng kept bypassing them. Maybe he had completely changed his way of thinking and gave up on the entrapment formations in front of him. Feng Yushan frowned. He had also thought of the same thing. This cultivator seemed different from the other cultivators who were trying to deduce the array formation. He was probably not completely lost. Yan Ji's method might really be able to wake up the cultivator who had arranged the array formation in front of him. However, he soon no longer worried about it. It was just a profound congealing 5th-level cultivator. Even if he was awakened, he could still easily kill him. Xiang Zhilan at the same time came to understand. She knew what Yan Ji really wanted to do, and immediately spoke up in a pleasantly surprised voice, "Junior apprentice Sister Ji, this friend of yours may have only been here for a very short time, as such she has not completely lost herself. I estimate that your method is feasible." Seeing that her own thoughts were already known by Senior apprentice Sister Lan, Yan Ji spoke up in an embarrassed manner, "Senior apprentice Sister Lan, I'll be fine by myself. You and Senior apprentice brother Yushan can go back first." "No need, I'll follow you. With the two of us together, we can take care of each other. I don't have anything to do when I go back. Besides, being together with you, I can also talk a lot, so I won't feel lonely." Xiang Zhilan spoke without hesitation. Feng Yushan on seeing this, spoke up, "Then I'll go back first. I'll come back to see you after a while. If you need any help, just contact me through the communication pearl." After Feng Yushan left, Yan Ji suddenly took out a spiritual fruit and handed it to Grey Toot Toot, who was following behind him, and said, "Come, you can eat this." Grey Toot Toot did not have many pills left, as such he had to save them to eat. Sometimes he would only be able to eat a single pill every few days. Moreover, he also did not know when he would finish eating his pills. Now that Yen Ji took out a spiritual fruit and gave it to him, it immediately squeaked a few times, as its small claws directly grabbed the spiritual fruit in Yen Ji's hand. However, after grabbing the spiritual fruit, Grey Toot Toot did not eat it, but rather put it into his storage ring. It seemed to know that all the things that it ate were very precious to it. What a clever companion beast, I guess that it was reluctant to eat it. Xiang Zhilan spoke with a sigh. Yen Ji once again took out more than a dozen spiritual fruits and handed them to Grey Toot Toot. This time Grey Toot Toot swallowed one of them, and then put away the rest of the spiritual fruits. After swallowing a spiritual fruit, Grey Toot Toot's fur obviously changed from dry to a little more moisture. This spiritual beast should have been lacking something that contained moisture for a long time, as such its fur would be so dry. Xiang Zhilan spoke again. What made the two people even more surprised was that Grey Toot Toot unexpectedly grabbed a pill and handed it to Yen Ji. It was obvious that it did not want to take advantage of people for free. What a principled and spiritual companion beast. Yen Ji was even more pleasantly surprised. As she took the pill, in her heart she could not wait to take Grey Toot Toot for herself. Seeing Yen Ji take the pill, Grey Toot Toot stepped up a few steps to catch up with Ning Cheng. Hey! It turned out to be a top-quality true restoration pill. This is the first time that I have seen a pill of this quality. This is definitely a first-class pill. Xiang Zhilan exclaimed as she stared at the pill in Yen Ji's hands. Yen Ji could also see that the pill in her hands was of an extremely high quality. What kind of person would be able to refine this kind of pill? She was also somewhat confused. Junior apprentice Sister Ji, this friend of yours is not simple. Xiang Zhilan stared at Ning Cheng's back and spoke, a person who could give a top-quality pill to his companion beast to eat, it would be a strange thing for him to be simple. Yen Ji took out a jade bottle, and put the pill into the jade bottle before putting it away. Before she spoke, Senior Apprentice Sister Lan, what do you think about Senior Apprentice Brother Yushan? Senior Apprentice Brother Yushan? He is very good. The cultivators in our area have all benefited a lot from him. He is a pill master, and also has a spiritual medicine garden. Moreover, every time there is a fresh spiritual fruit, he would always take it out and share it with everyone. Xiang Zhilan blurted out. Yen Ji was silent for a moment, before she spoke. Senior Apprentice Sister Lan, in addition to you and me, there are also 8 other female cultivators. I found that Senior Apprentice Brother Yushan and those 8 female cultivators are somewhat unclear. Moreover, Xiang Zhilan sighed and spoke, you want to ask why the Tao companions of those 8 female cultivators did not say anything? In fact, this is very normal. In this place they will never be able to get out, as such everyone is just looking for some psychological comfort. Their Tao companions are also aware that everyone is just a temporary group, as such there is no need to care about such things. Yen Ji nodded and spoke, Senior Apprentice Sister Lan, I always feel that Senior Apprentice Brother Yushan is a bit strange. No matter what happens to Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng, I will not go back. Senior Apprentice Sister Lan, you. Xiang Zhilan nodded. Junior Apprentice Sister Ji, I understand what you mean. The reason I propose to go with you is that I do not intend to go back. Although there are a lot of people there, but that kind of life is really not what I want. In the past, I did not even dare to think about it. Anyway, the two of us also have a companion, as such a person would not be too lonely. Besides, that puppy is really cute. Chapter 217. What Yen Ji and Xiang Zhilan did not know was that as early as 3 months ago, Ning Cheng had already completely deduced the exit of this grand array. As long as he had enough materials and resources, he could leave this place at any time. At this moment, he wasn't trying to figure out how to get out of this place. Instead, he was trying to figure out how this formation was set up and then completely destroy it. With his current level of proficiency in array formations, not to mention the array formations arranged by Xiang Zhilan, even if it was a rank 4 or rank 5 array formation, he would still be able to consciously bypass it. No one knew how many simulation arrays he had set up in his sea of consciousness in these 3 years. Ning Cheng's actions were indeed influenced by the array formation. If he was in a completely sober state, he would never do such a stupid thing. As soon as he found the array door, he would think of a way to leave this place. How could he waste time thinking of a way to completely break the array? With such a huge array formation in front of him, it was already a great achievement for him to be able to get out of it. However, if he wanted to completely break this array formation, then with Ning Cheng's current cultivation, it would still be a long way off. Perhaps after many years, Ning Cheng might be able to unlock this grand array, but at least for now, he couldn't do it. At the very least, he couldn't do it on his own unless his luck was really heaven-defying and he suddenly found where the core of the array was. As the day passed by, Xiang Zhilan and Yan Ji tirelessly arranged a variety of array formations in front of Ning Cheng, but Ning Cheng would always bypass the array formations and continue to move forward. At this time, Grey Toot Toot had already been cleaned by Yan Ji. Grey Toot Toot could feel that Yan Ji did not have any malicious intentions towards it, as such it suddenly rushed towards Yan Ji's buttocks and began to babble incessantly. "What's the matter?" Xiang Zhilan looked at Grey Toot Toot in a puzzled manner and asked. "I don't know either. It only called me that after I got familiar with it. It never called me that way before. Moreover, he always calls out to my back." Yan Ji also spoke out in a depressed manner. She and Grey Toot Toot were not familiar with each other, so it could be explained. Now they were already very familiar with each other, so when Grey Toot Toot called out like this, it really made her unable to understand what was going on. Xiang Zhilan suddenly spoke up, "This dog is very creative, you can take a look at what is going on with it." Yan Ji also had such a thought, as she stared at Grey Toot Toot and spoke, "What is your name? I've already given you so many spirit fruits, and I'm setting up this formation to help your master." Grey Toot Toot suddenly jumped up, and bit down on Yan Ji's hind leg. "Why do you bite people?" Yan Ji quickly swatted away Grey Toot Toot. If not for her liking this dog, moreover it was Ning Cheng's companion beast, she would have already slapped it to death. "Wait." Xiang Zhilan's complexion slightly changed, as she placed her hand behind Yan Ji. Yan Ji's face immediately turned red. Even if Xiang Zhilan was a female cultivator, she was still not used to it. "Don't move." Xiang Zhilan's tone was very dignified. Hearing Xiang Zhilan's unusual tone, Yan Ji did not dare to move again. After a while, Xiang Zhilan put down her hand and spoke, "Junior apprentice Sister Ji, there is a spiritual consciousness tag on your body. The place where the puppy bit just now is the divine sense mark." Yan Ji's expression changed. "I'm in here, who would have placed a spiritual consciousness tag on me?" Xiang Zhilan did not speak, as she carefully swept her body with her spiritual consciousness, but was not able to find any spiritual consciousness tags. She frowned as she spoke to Grey Toot Toot, "Can you see if there are any markings on my body?" Grey Toot Toot did not even look at Zhilan, as he chased after Ning Cheng. Yan Ji quickly followed up and called out, "Little Grey, you quickly help senior apprentice Sister Lan smell." Hearing Yan Ji's words, Grey Toot Toot reluctantly bit Xiang Zhilan's shoe. Xiang Zhilan's spiritual consciousness immediately fell on the place where Grey Toot Toot had bitten. After a good while, her complexion turned ugly as she spoke, "Junior apprentice Sister Ji, my body has also been marked with a spiritual consciousness tag. But it is very difficult to recognize. If not for this puppy, even if I knew about it, it would have taken me at least a few hours to find it." Yan Ji and Xiang Zhilan glanced at each other, but did not speak. The two of them did not need to say anything to know who had placed this spiritual consciousness tag on them. "Junior apprentice Sister Ji, no matter what the person who placed the spiritual consciousness tag on us is thinking, I don't think it is a good thing for us." Xiang Zhilan spoke in a worried voice. Yan Ji was a bit more decisive than Xiang Zhilan. After she understood that Feng Yushan had placed a spiritual consciousness tag on them, she immediately spoke up, "Senior apprentice Sister Lan, you immediately help me cut off the piece of cloth that placed the spiritual consciousness tag. You also cut off your own and throw it here. We have to hurry." "What about him?" Xiang Zhilan pointed at Ning Cheng. "Don't worry about it too much," Yan Ji once again urged. Xiang Zhilan knew that she had stayed in this place for a long time, and was somewhat indecisive, but now that Yan Ji had made up her mind, she immediately cut off the piece of cloth that had the spiritual consciousness tag on Yan Ji's body. After removing the spiritual consciousness tag, Yan Ji immediately rushed in front of Ning Cheng, and directly sealed Ning Cheng's 5 senses. She quickly carried Ning Cheng on her back, and spoke to Xiang Zhilan, "Senior apprentice Sister Lan, you take Little Gray and quickly follow me, leave the spiritual consciousness tag here, we will immediately escape." Xiang Zhilan understood Yan Ji's approach. If they let it go on like this, then when Feng Yushan lost his patience, this male cultivator called Senior Apprentice Brother Cheng would be the first to suffer. Yan Ji also understood this point, and simply carried this male cultivator on her back and immediately fled. Grey Toot Toot was caught by Xiang Zhilan, and the two of them quickly escaped. It was not until they had escaped for a while, that Yan Ji finally remembered to bring out her flight-type magical weapon. A day later, Feng Yushan arrived at the place where Yan Ji and Xiang Zhilan had left the spiritual consciousness tag. His complexion was extremely ugly to look at. He looked all around, and unexpectedly chose a direction to pursue. But this direction was precisely the direction that Yan Ji and Xiang Zhilan had left in. Although Xiang Zhilan was controlling the airship, but she was aware of what Yan Ji was doing. Yan Ji was actually helping that male cultivator to clean the dust off his body inside the cabin, although Yan Ji did not completely remove that male cultivator's clothes, but it was only a matter of time. In the end, Yan Ji would definitely strip that male cultivator naked. Xiang Zhilan sighed, but it was not because of Yan Ji's actions. Rather it was because of such an outstanding disciple of the Blue Cloud Academy, but unexpectedly could only be together with such a cultivator. It made her feel somewhat sentimental. In her opinion, if they left this place, then Ning Cheng simply would not be worthy of even a single strand of Yan Ji's hair. Yan Ji had already completely tidied up Ning Cheng's hair, and even completely removed the disguise on Ning Cheng's face. When she finally managed to shave off Ning Cheng's beard, she suddenly froze. How could he be so young? He was definitely not even 25 years old. Yan Ji had always thought that the most outstanding thing about her was not her appearance, but rather her qualifications. She was not even 24 years old and was already at profound congealing 9th level. Even in the Lu continent, there were not many of such people. But this Ning Cheng in front of her, how could he be so young? Ning Cheng's 5 senses were sealed off, but under the impact of the mysterious yellow origin, it quickly loosened up. Yan Ji did not have any murderous intent towards him, as such he had always been very calm. But at this moment, a strong sense of crisis washed over him. Ning Cheng's mysterious yellow origin instantly broke through the seal on his 5 senses. At this moment he also recovered his sanity. Yan Ji's hands had just untied Ning Cheng's clothes, when Ning Cheng suddenly sat up, while simultaneously grabbing Yan Ji's wrist. "It's you. Are you awake?" Ning Cheng recognized Yan Ji at the same time. Yan Ji was also pleasantly surprised to know that Ning Cheng had woken up. If she had known that Ning Cheng would wake up so easily, she would have already done it a long time ago. Ning Cheng's mind had already gone through all the things that had happened before. He was somewhat different from the others, at least he still had a clear goal in mind for what he was doing. After going through all these things, Ning Cheng quickly came to understand that it was Yan Ji who had sobered him up. "Thank you, isn't this the bottom of the Blood River? Why are you here?" Ning Cheng looked at Yan Ji in doubt and asked. Yan Ji spoke with joy. "I saw that you were surrounded by the Blood River otters, moreover the tide of the Blood River had also risen, so I was worried about you, so I rushed up to save you, but the result was that I could not save you, so I came here." Ning Cheng then came to understand that the reason why she came here was also because of him. He was a little embarrassed as he spoke. "I'm really sorry, I ended up delaying you for a few years." Ning Cheng's apology was genuine. These few years, he was sure that Yan Ji had been delayed. But he did not delay even a little. No one knew that at this time he was already a Tier 6 Array Formation Grand Master, moreover he was only a step away from advancing to the Array Formation Grand Master. A less than 30 years old array formation Grand Master, even in the entire Yixing mainland, it was still shocking. Yan Ji did not hear Ning Cheng's words, she did not care about it and spoke, "It doesn't matter, it is not easy to meet an acquaintance here. Moreover, we will not be able to get out of this place in the future, so I don't think there is any need to be too polite." Although Yan Ji had not thought about becoming Dao companions with Ning Cheng, but her thoughts were very simple, since everyone was trapped in here, then there was really no need to be too polite. Ning Cheng was just about to tell Yan Ji that she could go out, when his spiritual consciousness swept towards Grey Toot Toot. He felt somewhat guilty for forgetting about Grey Toot Toot. If he had not left a storage ring for Grey Toot Toot, then perhaps Grey Toot Toot would have starved to death. "Grey Toot Toot!" Ning Cheng called out. "Ee." Grey Toot Toot's voice immediately came over, while it excitedly jumped inside. Since Ning Cheng woke up, it meant that its rations had been secured. "Is it called Grey Toot Toot? It really is very cute." Yan Ji finally knew the puppy's name. "I'll clean myself up." Ning Cheng saw that Yan Ji did not have any intention to go out, and took the initiative to speak up. Yan Ji immediately understood, and quickly left with Grey Toot Toot. Ning Cheng used several dust removal techniques to clean himself up quickly, and then changed into a clean set of clothes, before he walked out. "Senior apprentice brother Ning, this is the senior apprentice sister that I met in here, Xiang Zhilan. Originally she was also from our Blue Cloud Academy, and has been trapped in here for over 100 years. Senior apprentice sister Lan, he is Ning Cheng." Yan Ji on seeing Ning Cheng come out, quickly introduced him to both sides. Xiang Zhilan also spoke in surprise, "Junior apprentice brother Ning, I did not expect you to be so young. To be able to study array formations in here, and still be able to wake up, you are the first one." Xiang Zhilan was really surprised that Ning Cheng was able to wake up, but she also did not think that Ning Cheng would be so young. After Ning Cheng thanked Xiang Zhilan, he suddenly said, "Junior apprentice sister Ji, did you and senior apprentice sister Lan offend someone? How could there be people chasing after us?" You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.